Alrighty, my gamers, Guilty Gear people. Hope everybody's ready for some good matches. Am I ready? I had to rush a couple of preparationary steps, but you know, we got there just in time, as per usual. And as always been, fuck it, we'll do it live. Alright, this is the weekly Bounty Hunters that you're watching right now, putting on 7 show matches every Sunday, 5 p.m. CET on the TV screen, and open for everybody to participate, of course, as well. The name of the game is Guilty Gear Strive, as per usual, and the format is first to 7 wins. I'm your usual host, QK, and without further pleasantries, let's see who made it in tonight, because it was a really busy event on the sign-up front. It's one of those weeks where we had tons of people wanting to sign up, wanting to get in, and it's always a shame that we can only accommodate around 14-ish people, players per week, or 7 matchups, if you will. But you know, yours truly can only handle so much of that, you know, that high-stakes gameplay. You know me, I get a little bit too excited because the matches are usually really, really good. So taking more than 3 hours of that in a row is a tough nut to crack. Yeah, what do we have? We've got a nice row of Team AK players commemorating the latter part of the show tonight, out of which I believe everyone is actually making their debuts tonight. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. And funny enough, so are their opponents as well. So let's see this. Wires Sin will start the AK mini segment, fighting versus Chidz Dizzy, followed up by Wizard Happy Chaos and Sabino Sin, and then finishing up with Munch Jacko facing BlackRaven Biken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of those players are playing on Bounty Hunters for the first time. After that, the last slot will be quite interesting as well, or I mean, very interesting to those who love Testament gameplay. I know I do. Since we've got a Testament mirror from East Coast USA. Our trusty East Coast Testament participant has been on Bounty Hunters many, many times. Is taking on a friend tonight. First time on screen on Bounty Hunters. AngelWeTrust. And of course, the regular in question is gonna be celphy. This matchup will be quite the chess match, because the usual game plan for Testaments usually start with, you know, standard fireballs, but Testament themselves has a pretty good half screen, sorry, not even half screen, full screen call out to that in the form of Arbiter Sign. For in the modern patches, that thing actually tracks basically no matter where you are on the screen, no longer limited by spacing. So it'll be a battle of trying to get your Stain Loop game plan started before the opponent does, and trying to deny the initial stages of that game plan as often as you possibly can from the opponent. So that's the latter part of the show tonight. The first is gonna bring you, let's see, another first timer on Bounty Hunters in the slot number 3, Toprak Slayer, facing facing Spooky, who's been recently, I believe, spinning the wheel, the random wheel, to choose a character to pick up and train every week for quite a while, I think now. It's just been a little difficult to fit Spooky in the roster, and every time it has been possible, there's been some unforeseen circumstances. So we got Spooky on the wheel character for the first time now, landing on May. So we're gonna have quite the brawl with this Slayer versus May matchup tonight. And before that, we've got 2 pre-arranged fights in the slots number 1 and 2. The slot number 2 match brings us Ina, who we mostly know as that Pridget player, but also the player who made a massive sub-character exodus happen recently in the community due to a couple of volatile bets, so to speak. But this time, gonna be rocking a new character in the form of Chip himself. I'm gonna be playing against Lunacy, who is also usually known to pilot Biken in the past. This time, gonna be Ino though. So a double sub character show off to even the odds here. Of course, it would be quite the struggle to play against somebody who plays on the regular, on their main character, to pick up a new character just like that. Or, who knows, some of us are absolutely goated players who have really solid fundamentals and can pick up at least standard characters fairly fast. Out of which, I guess Chip is the more standard. Generally, Ino tends to be the weird witch, for she has very strange movement options compared to very standard characters. But now we are arriving at the number 1 matchup slot. Let's bring in the cards, if I'm pressing the right buttons, and let's bring in the players as well. I think we have Leif in the lobby already. Let me get the ID as well. It's pretty useful to have in the paste button. All right. So yeah, hope you like Sin gameplay, by the way, since this will be the first of our 1, 2, 3 Sin matchups tonight. Another match that has been sort of in the making for a couple of weeks now. Diego versus Leif. Diego on that Nagoriyuki, not Johnny, but Nago, facing, of course, Leif's Sin, in a matchup that is, I guess, traditionally, historically, usually considered quite a tough nut to crack for Sin. Even though Sin has been improved over time and is probably, at the current, his most powerful iteration of himself he's ever been on Bounty Hunters on Guilty Gear Strive. Still, how the matchup usually starts to be solved one way or another depends on usually neutral and usually how Nago burns blood and how Sin is able to counterplay that blood. Because these are like kind of similar-ish characters, but Nago has sort of a little bit of an edge because his layer 1 or his initial tools are a little bit stronger than Sin's, because you have to spend blood on those, and you of course start every round with full blood. So it can be a little hard to contest Nago until the blood has been burned and until you know that there's not gonna be another Beyblade anymore. Of course, the newer changes to Sin, such as, like, you know, in the past, if you would land a beak driver, which is like one of your furthest range pokes, which was like kind of the most feasible stuff to land on Nagoriyuki because, you know, he has pretty good range as well. You would land beak driver, then you're like, all right, do I want to be punishable on not canceling? Do I want to be -4 on canceling into like beak 2? Or do I want to spend more resources in terms of maybe meter to try to force stuff out of that? But now you don't have to spend that meter anymore. In fact, you can just spend 2 stamina and you're +6 in the opponent's face. So that's kind of a nice feature. Not to mention how those beak drivers will also hit confirm into a lot of damage. So even though beak driver is still kind of hard to use against Nagoriyuki at low blood, because Nago can, on a moment's notice, use Clone Hukyo or that infamous Beyblade, which is so fast, approaches so fast, so far. It's kind of hard to rev up your better pokes against that. But once the blood is high, we know that the heavy buttons are kind of the only, I guess heavy buttons and 2S are sort of the building blocks of Nagoriyuki gameplay at that point. At that point, when the specials can't come out, or if they do, Nago is gonna pop, it's so much easier for you to sort of formulate your game plan. Those 5 heavies that reach from like half screen away, they're still hard to play against, but way easier to play against than the threat of, say, Beyblade, for instance. Although, all of that I've been talking about is usually kind of high-level gameplay. Generally, I guess on kind of like a rookie level or intermediate level, you see a little bit more brawling, which will sort of like, you see players going at one another right from the get-go, not necessarily caring about like what is the blood situation, what is the stamina situation, nothing like that. Just go in, use our best tools, try to force our good stuff, and go from there. So it can be really volatile if the match is played like that, but it's also quite fun. I'm gonna be honest, if the matchup is played like that. Not all the time. Like, it's not necessarily that like playing the matchup at the highest level is gonna be the most enjoyable, most hype gameplay. Taking it easy here, landing 2-bar block, 2S5 heavy, very classic hit confirm. Tries to fish for it again, but Leif goes for a sudden instant air dash, and now we are in the pressure position. And due to that relatively high blood, we're gonna have decent amount of damage out of these conversions. Remember, Nagoriyuki is one of those heavy characters that generally has a very high defensive modifier and can take a lot of punishment. But at this high level blood, you're taking way more damage than intended at the start of the round. And there's that new stuff, that stamina burn that Sin can now do from a very far range, able to get sort of on the same page with the rewards with Nagoriyuki. Nice interruption there, 2K, plays it against the forward Hukyo. One of the most important things in the matchup, you have to check Hukyos. It's not necessarily a guaranteed thing, like Nago doesn't necessarily have to go for a forward Fukyo, and of course you can't distinguish forward Fukyo and backwards Fukyo from each other. So it's gonna be in those RPS situations, you're trying to guess which one it is, and oh, queued up the L count, unfortunately, slamming himself into the blood pop. Now with fresh blood bar. Oh, but that's tough. If you try to jump over Nagoriyuki while Nago is blood burning, it usually ends up not in your favor. No matter what character you are, you don't necessarily have to be even Sin, but like, generally, if you want to punish like Clone Fukyo or Beyblade, you probably want to do like an instant air backdash into a safe button. Maybe those are good enough to sort of catch Nago going in. But special moves from Nagoriyuki, they recover so fast. And now through the wall. This is a massive life advantage here for Diago. Both players have all of their bursts ready to be spent. And Leif will have to make some sort of a risky call out here in order to stop the positive bonus loop from happening. Nice boom. Ooh! And I'm not sure what Diago tried to press there, but the 2S had progressed far enough to be able to counterpoke any of that. Nice anti-air. Look at that. Footsies waiting for it. The instant air dash comes out. 6P, DP, the usual conversion that deals massive, massive amount of damage. I think not the easiest hit confirm to make either. Because like you generally, if your 6P doesn't land as you intended to, you don't necessarily want to dial into the DP either, because that is a blood burn option, and that's going to cost you quite a bit. But Diago making the nice call out here, knows that it's going to land, and goes for the burn. Oh, starting with the beat driver, catching a backwards Fukyo. So a very common round start option that tends to be a lot of buttons as well as backstep buttons from Nagoriyuki is backwards Fukyo into specials, which can be called out with far-reaching buttons such as like Big Driver or Elk Hunt. Speaking of that Elk Hunt, we're burning too. Ooh, that was probably a misinput. I betcha that Leif wanted to go for a hoof stomp there, which is a 2-1-4 input, but got a 6-2-3 input instead. I actually have that misinput quite a lot recently as well, for some reason. Ooh, okay, are we safe? No, we're not only safe, we get the press advantage here. Finds the hoop. Side switch, nice! I wouldn't have even thought about that. And then a big counter hit close slash from the blood burn. Yes, sir, you have to have counterplay against that 2 stamina blood burn that, sorry, not blood burn, stamina burn that Sin can do on you. You know, Elk 1, Elk 2 into Gazelle, or Beak 1, Beak 2 into Gazelle. Such a, you know, has become such a go-to tool for Sins this patch. Now that both of those are very, very plus on block. Yeah, still plus, but now we are at that 0 stamina conundrum, and Diago is surely gonna push it. Nice bait there, backwards Fukyo out of there. 2-6 heavy, so much damage. A very simple combo. Are we gonna get 6 speed there? No. Seems that it's not safe enough to press during that time stop. The DP ends up whipping as a punish. OTG, not quite the kill. We're so low on stamina. Tries to go for an instant air dash. Ooh, committed to that instant air dash. I think there probably was a whiff punish option open, as I think Diago whiffed the too heavy, a button that has at least 1 second of whiff recovery. Like, oh, nice shimmy again. And the 2 blood burn. Sorry, stamina burn. I'm probably gonna use those, whatchamacallit, like, gonna say that Sin is blood burning and Nago is stamina burning during this set quite a bit. Ooh. Right, far slash didn't believe in the last slash, so just dashed in and took his turn. Yeah, finds a frame trap into a good combo. Using lots of blood for that combo and doesn't have the 50 meter to rely the pressure at the end. Usually are pretty happy burning lots of blood if you can get to the wall as Nagoriyuki, because you're trusting on that that super, that at the end of that you get a little bit of blood returned to you. But if you can't perform that, I guess one option is to then stick them to the wall and just go for the blood pop if you can manage to spend enough blood to make the pop happen. Again, a really nice challenge there by Leif. Patience, the far slash whips, and that means Nago is gonna be quite minus. Good, waits for the incoming L count. L-Count is a very strong tool, but technically if you are waiting for it, a lot of the times can be reacted to, especially with throws. Good use of FD, look at this, just pushing Sin Leif completely. Full screen, tried to jump out, the big close slash counter, immediate burst. Knows that that would have ended the round right then and there. Bar slash slash slash, is it gonna be enough? No, tumbles to the end, but now, again, look at that, the guts from Leif, and that's actually gonna be a kill. Leif has been super good on execution today. Way better than usual, I think. I think so far, no massive drops of any kind, and more than that, it's not necessarily the drops that Leif usually struggles with the most. I think it's the routing, but the routing has been pretty immaculate today. Alright, big wall stick. Scrape them off the wall. Diago still, ooh, tried to go for a back wall 2S, but the immediate big driver takes care of it. Another good instant air dash. So the reason why Leif is going for those instant air dashes so much, 2 reasons for the most part. 5 heavy or far slash are both kind of fireball functions. You can jump over them. They have a lot of recovery. So if you go for an instant air dash, that's going to be a big punish. But also because Nagoriyuki's anti-air options are kind of slow. His best anti-air 2 heavy, not really something you can do on reaction to instant air dashes. And then 6P. 6P is very, very slow as well. So you got to be really on point, waiting for that jump if you want to make that a clean reaction anti-air. Nice punish there once again. With the pressure, FD using FD on all of those. However, Leif structuring his pressure so that the FD does not do anything. Of course, if Sin dials into the layer 1 pressure, which would usually be like close slash 2S 5 heavy, it's gonna get very... Look at that, the backdash actually survives the Beyblade there. Very nice timing. Where plus, once again, however, the backdash takes care of the throw. Lots of burst baiting here. I think Diago has burst baited at least once. Would it come out? There it is. Still a decent number of blocks to spend if we go back to neutral, but it's gonna have to be one shot. Ooh, speaking of that, a little too far with that 5 heavy RC, and now lands straight in front of Diago. Unfortunately, the spacing didn't really favor Leif this time around. The jump slash just ends up whiffing just barely by a couple of pixels. But that is fundamentals, that is fighting games. Small 1, 2, 3 pixel adjustments can make the whole world. Can your punish land? Is it gonna whiff? If it's completely gonna whiff, you might actually get punished yourself on the follow-up situation, which is what happened to Leif here. Again, 2 blood burn, saves the last stamina. So there's an option to spend the 3rd stamina as well from that round start position and get a wall break, but a lot of Sin players tend to like to save the last stamina more rather than take the wall break without hard knockdown. Here we go, taking note of that FD. Ooh, but again, the FD makes actually the L count whiff. Very precarious position, I think because it was cancelled from a normal, and the normal was FD'd.
Backdash into a punish once again, but no stamina this time. In these kind of situations, we have to rely on either Wild Assault or our meter. Leif was trying to confirm, but now the meter is gone and we'll have to wait for the... Ooh, that was a miss on the blood burn. That's a lot of blood burn. It's gonna be around level 3, not quite. Diego still has pretty much good amount of steam in the tank. Again, didn't commit long enough into that dash. And the backdash brings Diego another round victory. 6P beats Far Slash, as per usual, very universal stuff. Blood burning into -2, but yeah, look at that. Even if Diego didn't do any sort of Fukios there, that would be kind of precarious position to try to challenge, as like the only button that you can press as Sin is Far Slash, rest will be too slow. But even that has counterplay, nice. Meter burn, again, clean, simple combos, high blood combos, 1, 2, 6 heavy, RC 6 heavy, or if you don't have the RC, just go for an OTG 6 heavy, gonna do so much damage. Diego picking up the speed here, 3-1 at the very early stages of this first FT7 of the evening. Like, understandably taking a little bit of a breather here. It's good to try to break the opponent's momentum early on, or get your own game back in it if you have a streak of a couple of games that you lost. Again, the round start beat driver. That is definitely matchup knowledge. You probably wouldn't start with that button in a lot of different matchups. Look at the push punish! Again! But low stamina, unfortunately, so very hard to hit confirm that, unless you would go for that burst. The Wild Assault is probably the favorite tool for Sin players. Oh, tried to go for the cheeky dashing close slash again, but this time Diego not having it 3 times in a row, I think, pressing buttons of his own. Nice, the Elkan still reaches, and we're gonna get the wall. Lots of blood open for Diego, so if... Ooh, the close slash hits so far and so active. I would say generally close slashing Guilty Gear Strive are very hard to backdash out of. And if you somehow manage to do that, the player who used the close slash... Ooh, the chase here! Oh, it's the second hit that actually lands. That's gonna make it really hard, because like... Ooh, did he notice? No, he went for the Elkan again! And this empty jump into a 5 heavy big Hail Mary. Really precarious situation, because Diego would have in a couple of frames been at 0 hit points, or rather 1 hit point. And the chip damage could have been an issue. Goes under the 2 heavy, nice prediction. Very high blood. This is maximum damage position for Leif if he manages to find the hits. Ooh, the frame trap into... Ooh, misconfirmed there. Definitely tried to go for a hit confirm out of the 6K into perhaps close slash or 6 or 5K. No matter, we go again. Spent the stamina to get the wall break. A little expensive, but wall break is a wall break. Very careful here, very low stamina, and now Diego definitely gonna burn all of their resources with the stagger pressure. Ooh, again, it's kind of... I can see both players, the gears whirring in both players' head. That dash could have a couple of extra frames invested into it, which would allow you to dash deep enough to get it. But I think what Leif is trying to account for is Diego's current position. Of course, you're not gonna react to that backdash. That'll have to be basically a read. So if you commit to that throw, which is usually a very hard commit in especially this game where you're in a counter hit punish, if you choose to not hit normals instead, you are gonna be completely wide open. Now saving the 1 stamina once again. Ooh, trade on the 2 heavy at that range, kind of safe. Unless Nagoriyuki would swing a big 5 heavy. I guess even 5 heavy wouldn't reach there because we're still on low blood. Immediate burst, look at that. The super jump lands on the other side, big confirm as well. From the 5 heavy, that's actually the more lucrative way to hit confirm your hits. The classic combo is of course close slash 2 heavy into a special, but you can get a little bit more if you hit confirm and can go into close slash 5 heavy instead. Small optimizations, but you know, those can end up mattering in the end. Clone is a little stronger than Elk this time around. Prompts a burst from Leif. RPS here once again, far slash slash. And here comes Leif with the blood burn. Ooh, tries to walk forward, maybe into a button or a throw, but this time Diago, especially on Naga's throw range, is gonna be on top of it, and you're taking pressure. Nice DP again. Leif's DP instincts have been pretty on point. Nice, gets the hit confirm as well. We're burning, and yeah, of course, because of that extra launch there from the DP2, we'll be able to get the wall break. Ooh, the FRC actually ends up missing here. Big loss of resources there for Diago, but we're still pushing. Perhaps one special move in the tank doesn't even have to go for it, because we are basically at the dream distance. Half screen distance. Oh, are we gonna burn? We're gonna burn. Misses it. Fixes it. Okay, back to round star. Resources, that is. Resource-wise, that is. A little, it's very close to getting that 50 meter here. Won't be able to get the wall break there live. Next hit though. Release the pressure, use the 50 meter. We still have burst in the tank if we want to use wild assault. There we go. Extend the pressure. That is the go-to game plan for Sin Kiss. Nice backdash. Able to backdash the far slash, which is usually one of the hardest buttons to backdash in the game. But yeah, basically Sin's game plan usually is juggling the three resources: burst, stamina, and tension. And if you don't got the other two, what are you gonna use? You're probably gonna use burst instead. I think this should be okay. This range, yep, Diago knows it. Immediate DP, that's a great response. And this time, dashes deep enough and goes for the close slash, calls out the backdash. Those backdashes have been basically a bane of life so far. But then, again, I think a timing problem there at the end. Getting a far slash for his troubles where Leif definitely wanted to follow up with a close slash pressure. The difference is actually massive, because far slashes tend to be very slow, whereas close slashes start in 7 frames. Far slashes tend to have no active frames at all, and also big whiff recovery. If we consider all of those, and also like really bad hitbox compared to close slash hitboxes are massive. If we consider all of those details, you pretty much never want to get a far slash for your close mid-range pressure if you can help it. But sometimes when you hit that S button too early, it might turn into a far slash and you might be in trouble because of that. Alright, good interruption. Immediate burst here. Now Diago still enjoying that burst advantage. He's gonna use that on a successful hit confirmed by Leif. Leif can't afford to can't afford to go on defensive here, because look at this. During the defensive maneuvers, the stamina is coming back. And now we are at 3 stamina again. No hit confirmed there on that hoof stomp. We hit confirming with the tap dust instead. Get the wall break. Now, again, 2 stamina in this tank, so if Leif gets any hit, it's gonna actually be super good. And it's gonna be hella good, because that's a backdash into a close slash. Big commit there. I blinked and I missed it. Didn't see what Diago pressed there, but committed into a pretty hefty whiff button. Ooh, got the backdash. And again, the far slash pressure, cancel it into Beyblade as a frame trap. Blood is rising. Very similar. Oh, but that's gonna be a big one. Oh, unless the 6 heavy OTG ends up whipping. But no problem, we still have our... Actually, that was not even a high blood. That was just a complete low blood. Yeah, right, because Diago got that blood-sucking universe there in the middle of that sequence, right? Right, lands into a close slash, immediate burst there by Diago. Understandable. Half screen, counter hit, close slash from Sin would definitely put you at a precarious position in terms of life. Missed the call for the close slash, does not come out. This is tough. Stamina is coming back slowly. Oh, look at this defensive perimeter by Diago. Ooh, the timing on the instant air dash is great. Misses the hit confirm, but still in there. RC to keep up the pressure. Use stagger pressure. No button there on the L-count. Now does it? So the L-count even on hit is gonna be minus punishable, and on block, I believe -8. So if you see Sin players not having any stamina to cancel that, it's always gonna be a punish unless there's like a 50 meter in the tank or whatever. But that time, there was none. But you can sometimes still get away with it if in the heat of the moment the opponent is not quite paying attention exactly to your to your resource situation. It's very common for this kind of things to happen. We screw up and ram ourselves into blood pops on a regular basis. We might not see when Abba is about to pop. We might not take into account, you know, Happy Chaos's bullet situation and that kind of stuff. It happens. It really does happen. And you know what other thing happens? Sometimes forward Fukio goes unchecked. But luckily for Leif, we'll be able to defend against that situation. So there's that deep dash. We got the throw. Finds the interruption, immediate burst. We might see an immediate burst from Diago if Leif manages to find a hit. Does not find it this time. And the far slash again. Catches the backdash. Such a good backdash catcher. Really weird far slash if we think about it from Nagoryuki. Not really like, ooh, well, that's a big counter hit. And Diago was saving that burst for that occasion. And now first set point position. Diago on the driver's seat. Again, the big driver round start. Rings true. Oh, and that's the right routing as well. If you get a big driver starter, you can actually go into the meterless stamina route at the end there, which you can't do if you start your combos with the S buttons. Really, really nice routing. Let's see if that carries Leif to the next round. That's gonna be a big hit burst before anything bad happens. That would have probably been just like 6 heavy into 6 heavy, but still, that would have been super close to a kill. Spent the 2 stamina in the corner. Diago is so close to that burst threshold. Ooh, but the throw and the OTG. There we go. We're alive. Making sure that there is no way out of this sequence for Diago, even if he wanted to burn, or sorry, to the burst. There is no way out of that throw that locks you out of that animation, or from using the burst, sorry. Small blood burns again, gearing towards catching the backdash, and the strong backdash that Sin has. You know what other thing is strong? The DP. There we go. That's what we were talking about earlier. With the forward-moving momentum, you might catch the punish on Nago. Speaking of catching, still in range. Ooh, missed the 2K. Again, small combo error there for Leif. Let's see if that's gonna claim his life. It's one touch either way. I think the FRC. Diago still has some, but instant air dash through that. Spend it. Ooh, didn't get the close slash again. It's a couple of pixels away and triggers the far slash instead. The button that you don't want usually. Good block on the overhead and then the punish far slash. However, follows it up with a throw. Shimmy. But the FRC there saves Diago. That is the classic in Guilty Gear Strive. If you screw up, if you try to fuzz a throw or mash a throw or whatever, if you miss it, follow it up with a PRC, because if it whiffs, then you can actually bail out. We always talk about how dangerous it is to throw in this game, but if you have 50 meters to back it up, it's not so dangerous anymore, is it? In fact, if the throw would come out, that means your opponent is not in a throwable state. That means they're probably backdashing or jumping, which if you queue up your PRC really fast, you should be in a position where you can intercept them, or at least be in a really, really advantageous position here. Damn, started out really even, and I think every single game was relatively even. I think 1, 2, 3, I can actually remember at least 3 games there that were up to that last combo execution for Leif. So even though, again, 7-1, very close in my heart, in my opinion, because like those combo execution is one of those things that is absolutely necessary, but it is a thing that you can fix very easily, and or a thing that could go either way, depending on the day. Right, on to the next one. So this is the other, I guess one of our, or the second one of our 3 pre-planned matches of the evening. So Ina and Lunacy are gonna go at it or rather using their sub-characters. For Ina, it's gonna be Chip instead of Bridget, and for Lunacy, it's gonna be Ino instead of that good old Baiken. So from a matchup perspective, I think I guess Ino could
you could say could be kind of vulnerable against fast characters, kind of not. It's sort of like when you commit to a neutral poke on you really do commit. Because like stuff like Stroke the Big Tree, huge commitment, can be poked with or rather counter poked with a low. Note, if the opponent is in a spacing where they can pounce forward and catch you, it has a lot of rev up time. So it's very feasible that the opponent might actually counter poke you, or even like run into your note, make it explode prematurely, and you get only one explosion. At which point you're not really plus much. Or then we know the forward dashes. You do see some forward dashes at neutral position, trying to hop over the opponent's low reaching pokes that you need to counter Stroke the Big Tree. We also have the Mad Love, the neutral that can pounce from like half screen away. If the opponent is not reacting, is not pressing buttons, you can just skip into their guard and be massively plus. Or Chemical Love, like you name it. You name a special move, you name an approach tool. It is a massive risk for But to compensate it, if you actually guess right and manage to hit your initial approach tool correctly, then you get a hard knockdown, and then you get that good old Scarlet Witch gameplay that loops into itself, does decent damage, and is basically the epitome of what we call a blender gameplay in the industry. Oh, that actually reaches from that range. Arcing into, unfortunately, the other direction. Ooh, that was a really tricky one. I thought that was actually gonna go for a cross up there, but went over, crossed back into the same side, and then into land into a low. With the BNB conversion again, the cross-ups are plaguing Ina here a little. Maybe a little bit of unfamiliarity, or uncertainty from matchup side of things. Like sometimes, even though we've kind of fixed weight classes and a lot of shenanigans that cause your combos to be just different on different characters, there are still some relics of the past, and some characters just have different shapes of hitboxes during their juggle states. So they might fall out of your combos still, even though, a lot of that has been sort of eliminated over time. Starting with the bar slash. Immediate burst here for Lunacy. Lunacy still so far has struggled a little to get their game plan started, which is very understandable against this jack of all trades, the fastest character in the game. Oh my god, that actually kills on the lower end of the defense scale, and that is actually the classic hardest hitting combo that we have on Chip's repertoire. Going into the wall cling and then using the upward slashes to DP out of the pressure. Remedy the problem before it starts is usually kind of the way that we see Chip being played, because like you try to counterplay, you try to prevent things from even starting. Like things like combos. Wow! I think that might have been actually a reaction, because Stroke the Big Tree is bored. Got that burst bait there at the end as well. But I think Ina was probably looking for it, and if you see Stroke the Big Tree starting, even from neutral, even from pressure situation, you can kind of queue up a throw. Is usually the one that you see the most, because it's the fastest inputting thing. But you can also do DP, right? DP is technically faster, because it has no startup time like throw has, 1 frame. Are tumbling towards the end corner. RC, ooh, interesting. Instead of going into the Rekka 3, the overhead RC is a little earlier. Perhaps looking for something from Lunacy. Here's the burst. Would love to use her tension gauge, her tension resources, but Ina just giving no time to play the game at all. To the other side, that was an accidental cross-up, I reckon. Because Lunacy tapped the dash there, prompting the float dash to come out, and ooh, there we go, big counter hit. Misses the confirm though. Doesn't miss this, or I guess getting a decent amount of damage out of it. But the problem for Ino is you usually want to finish your combo so that you get into that blender.
Ooh, the close slash actually hits low enough and can't go under it with the stroke the big tree. And now to the wall. Misses the 6 heavy at the end of the combo. Both players fumbling. Reaching. Ooh. The throw is punished. The burst is baited. And finally, after so long, it's time for Lunacy to roll out. The cool thing is, like, immediately as Lunacy gets to play, it's just back-to-back good reads. That was a DP bait into an immediate burst bait into reading, what is it, reversal something there at the end. Or no. Lunacy was the one who went for the reversal super, so that's a slightly different kind of RPS win. No anti-air here, reset into the instant air dash jump heavy, the classic from Chip. Ooh, land that clone on point blank range is actually pretty good, because then you can actually get the plus frames without having to dash forward at all. Looking for potentially one hit, maybe. Yeah, the tension is there. So the RC is available, tap, and no time to burst for Lunacy. That would have had to be a situation where you're like, tapping the button in order to get it out before the wall stick happens. But you know, that's also an RPS decision. If you're gonna go for the type of quotations panic burst, maybe you can get out of that conversion. But then the most common place to usually bait bursts are during like the first or the second hit of the combo, depending on how fast those hits land. Overhead is blocked, misses the punish there, went for a 5 heavy. I wonder if close slash was... Wait, no, that 5 heavy is actually faster than close slash, right? For, you know, because the button is a little weird. Or am I thinking about Exert instead? Uh-oh, a little bit of a miss on the trigger finger there. DP, but not punished by Lunacy. There we go, the reversal super is gonna give you a setup. Wants to be very, very safe, because I think saw that Ina was on 100 meter to the other side. YRC attempt turns into a blue RC, and because the opponent is not hitting his buttons, we are slowing their frames, so that is an advantageous position for the BRCer. Burst! One more hit, tries to look for the snipe, and I think Ina went for the 6P there. Didn't they? Or was that a close flash? I was sure that would actually anti-air the float dash that Lunacy was going for, but no. The beauty of interactions in fighting games, timing is usually even more important than hitboxes. Speaking of timings here, even though you are minus after every Rekka, you might get away with it because of the spacing and the type of pokes that you have. And of course, the threat of the follow-up Rekkas is always a class. What? Run past and then got a combo still. Dash in DP, sees the opponent in the air. That was definitely not, you know, reaction to anything. I think Ina just wanted to send it that time. And I think that was actually a pretty decent, very, very gambly, but I think that was a chip kill, right? So even on hit, even on normal block, the DP is gonna kill Lunacy. Got the counter hit into, tried to rev up left, right. Baiting it this time. Interesting way to punish it. Goes for a jump heavy instead of a close slash on the ground. I wonder if that kind of punish would deal more damage, or maybe that's just a kind of a combo that Ina is more accustomed to. This is of course sub-character show-off, so we're kind of compensating or making compromises rather on a lot of the stuff that you would, you know, maybe on players who play these characters as main would probably do things a little different. Nice jump out! And no anti-air on the landing. The thing about the Leaf Crab, ooh! Nice, and Lunacy is on the board. But the thing about Leaf Crab is if you jump out of it, it is actually one of the fastest command grabs ever in the history of fighting games that you've ever seen. That means you can't punish it on the way down. Chip recovers way too fast, and if you're trying to press a button on the way down, thinking that it's a command grab, I can punish it, Chip can actually anti-air. You put yourself in a disadvantageous air to ground situation. Nice timing. Oh, and there we go. Let's see your best punish combo, Lunacy. I mean, that's pretty decent. Again, the compromise is you do what you can do rather than do something too difficult and then drop the combos. Interruption there against the clone. Very gutsy, but you do what you gotta do. Here's the clone again. Getting a softish knockdown plus frames from the... What's that called? Mad Love, that's it. Ooh, following it up with the cross up. But again, that's gonna be a punish. The only true punish that you can get without any sort of negotiations is the Rekka, the overhead Rekka. If you don't have 50 meter to spend at the end, that's gonna be a true punish. There isn't gonna be any more Rekkas after that. But the Rekka 1 and the Rekka 2, in sequence there, they always have a Rekka option potentially coming afterwards, or you can drop the... Ooh, okay, switching positions. Overhead Rekka hits, but the RC combo, I think because the FRC actually maintains your momentum, again, I think that kind of looks like a misinput, because Ina has gone for that close slash into, again, it's the S buttons into the DP. I wonder if it's like a situation where you're trying to go for the DP and accidentally get a S button and then go for the DP, or if it's more like you're going for like some sort of a string out of the S button, like you're trying to go into like, what's the Rekka 1 input? Is that 2, 3, 6 S? So I could see that being a misinput there into potentially 6, 2, 3 S instead, which is Chidz Rekka, Chidz DP. Alright, plus frame. Oh, never mind! Able to jump out of it before it actually activates. The clone is a little slow on startup after all. Which is why... Oh, I saw a button! I saw a dive! And Ina's actually gonna snipe that! Big damage! Finishing it up with style! Taking a book from a lot of chip players we've had on Bounty Hunters as of recent. It is very committive. But if your opponent is in the air, well, first of all, if they're hitting a button, they're just toast. But if they're blocking, there is still some amount of shenanigans, or rather, like, ambiguity that could happen in terms of which side is the super gonna hit first, because it zips back and forth, and the first hit could whiff, and then it manifests from behind, which would make you have to change the block position, or block direction, rather. Ooh, great trade there for Lunacy. Do we get the punish? Combo, far slash, I'm not even sure what far slash follows up to. Maybe Mad Love. Ooh, look at the momentum! The momentum at the FRC is sending Ina to different places, all sorts of places, maybe even too far, and then the frame trap into Stroke the Big Tree, very classic. The heavy Stroke the Big Tree is what we talked earlier, is very reactable, but the S version can be a relatively tight frame trap that you might not be able to react to. Like if you're trying to, for example, DP on reaction or throw on reaction. Oh, are we airborne? Yes, we are! And that Chemical Love has actually a little bit of landing recovery as well, which I think was the nail in the coffin while Lunacy got punished. Overhead Rekka, no meter to burn just yet. Looking for one more hit. Where's it gonna come from? Plus frames into... You're trying to tech a throw, but I am actually going for a Leaf Grab here. I'm seeing a lot of those, far slashes landing, but not trying to hit confirm those. Again, I think it's a really good button for Ino, but might be one of the buttons that you don't necessarily learn to hit confirm or learn combos out of at the very start of your Ino journey. Because like you incorporate tools into your game plan a little bit at a time. Was able to stand up for the first part of the overhead, but not the second. Or rather, the FRC at the end then turned into a jump heavy, which caused a couple of extra overheads after that. That is a very tricky sort of mix-up situation to block against. Overhead Rekka sinks in, getting a close slash pressure started. Under the Chemical Love, we go with 6P. There we go, had the FRC 50-meter burn ready to go. But now, all of that is gone. Oh, never mind, we still have a position. And we have the 50 burst as well, technically for Ina. Well, we're using it. Oh, nice! Goes under the startup of the node. Is that a safe jump? Yes, indeed. Do we know which side? Yes, we indeed do. We do know. A little bit of a reset there at the end, but we take those happy little accidents and what have you, as one of the great minds of our time once said. Oh, shuriken. Do we got the stuff? The Rekka pressure. Yeah, not necessarily, like, Rekka 1 is not necessarily followed up by the low or the overhead Rekka every single time. And since the first Rekka is the least minus of the bunch, that's kind of what enables a lot. Ooh, but again, good bait there on the throw. Goes for a pressure reset with an instant air dash, which also does happen to cover the throw option as well. That's kind of like one of the sort of abilities that you see from super high level fighting game players. They do sequences that not only cover one thing, but favor preferably two or even more things, so that it always seems to do like it seems like they're guessing right, but they're not guessing for just one thing. They're guessing for multiple things at once. Oh, confirmed from the Rekka 2, miss on the combo, and here we go, Lunacy, the counter bird! With the reversal, super steals the round back, and at this point, Lunacy definitely has to steal those rounds if she still wants to be a contender to win it. For Ina does have quite a lot of wins under their belt. Right in the corner, very committed to the dive, but the cool thing about the dive is that it is fast and the hitbox is relatively good. Oh no! Wait, I think Lunacy actually landed there. Or did she? Nevertheless, we still have life to spend with... Or a life to spend here. Nice, the Rekka 3 was super delayed, which allowed Lunacy to get a 2K in between. Deflection, ooh, a little too far. The reversal super, we're still not there. We get the setup, overhead, hit confirm, go for it again. DP is the answer this time. For if you are in a situation like this where you don't have time to set up the note, I think getting like a manual, like you're kind of forced into a situation where manual safe jump timings are necessary, and manual is the curse word, the nasty thing that a lot of fighting game players would not like to deal with. Nice, got the tap on the forward dash punish there on that DP, but immediate burst from Ina. Still working with the corner. The tension guarantees that we can RC that overhead Rekka, which is usually the go-to. Reversal. Get out of there. Now, go for it again. A good backdash out of the pressure. I think Lunacy is trying to be as safe as possible. It can be one of those things where if you're not super confident, that's... Oh my goodness. I'm so perplexed. Are those, like, the bar slashes that Ina is going for? I'm gonna check it. Is Rekka 1... Is Rekka 1 in the S buttons? I gotta see this. I gotta check it. It's mind-worming me too much. It isn't an S button, is it? Yeah, it is. It's gotta be the Rekka 1 that is missing, but into the DP. That's the only you know, possibility that I can think of. Ooh, misses the close slash, but then gets a whip cancel. Big, ooh, get the throw. Yes, indeed. And the setup. Oh, nice shimmy there, or shimmy equivalent. Rather, stepped right into the edge of the throw range. Punish there. Ah, the close slash didn't come out. Got a bar slash instead, which might be too slow actually to punish depending on your reaction times. Here's the meter burn. Oh, this is gonna do so much damage. We got the wall cling normals after all, which are some of the hardest hitting normals in Chip's kit. So whenever you can combo into the tightrope, it's gonna give you that mad damage that you get when you're hanging onto the wall as well. Which side? Still in the front side, not taking any risk to accidentally cross up. But now the resources have kind of been burned for Ina. And look how much resource we have for Lunacy. We got one Wild Assault, and we got 75 meter. Mad Love! Making sure that you are not pressing any buttons here. The DP is what gets Ina out there in the end. Is Ina gonna take it right there? Confirming the tightrope, however, too fancy, I think. And the DP does not come out this time. The successful, that looked like a safe jump as well. So I don't think it would have mattered at all what Ina does here. Lunacy having great execution for the last Oki situation. And that's the heart and essence of characters like this. If you have your setups, your set play on point, like you're perfect. You're just like, you know, our Lord and Savior meant for you to be both players whipping a throw here. However, it was Lunacy who had the meter advantage to bail out of that. All right, Bunky Messai. We're gonna get a positive bonus here, but look at this, so many resources for Lunacy to defend with. We haven't seen YRCs too much. It's usually been the more aggressive option. This one! Ah, but the punish eludes Ina there, and that's one of the like weirder reversal supers to punish in the game, because technically if you block it, it's an easy punish because you can press buttons in between the hits, but if the second part of the super comes out, it is gonna be plus. Alright, DP works out this time. Ooh, footsies! Definitely in Ina's favor, because Ina was reaching for that 2D, that sweep, that actually hard knockdown. Where are we going? Chip, hello? You going places? Right now? In this very decisive moment, Lunacy is actually doubling up. The closer to death Lunacy draws, the more power level she also draws out of her kit. Is Lunacy a Super Saiyan? A likely story. Even despite the FD, Ina will be able to micro walk forward, get the throw, and another opportunity at ending the set here. Good 5 PP. Sort of deemed that Lunacy was late with that setup. Not every time do you have to go for that DP if you think like you're gonna have to interrupt. Yep, the 5 PP again. If you think the witch is gonna be floating in the air, not pressing air buttons early enough, just jab her. Meter burn leads into a throw. We reset the situation. Reverse soul. The second part doesn't come out this time. It's the exact same situation as previously, but now Ina had the punish, and it surely kills if the combo does not drop. Look at those slashes. So much freaking damage from that new tightrope tool. Pulling it out when it matters the most. Hit confirming into the big massive damage combo, which will be the nail in the coffin here. Ina will take this 7-2 in the side character show up between these two players. But damn, Lunacy started to heat up towards the end of it. I feel like if we could roll back a couple of points from Ina, if it was 5, I feel like Lunacy could have ran it back. She just needed a little bit more time. A little bit of extra time to turn up the engine. Get the hit confirms, get the setups. Like it's not easy. It's not the easiest thing in the world on a character like this. Everyone who has played a somewhat manual timing set play character will know the struggle. Everything has to line up perfectly if you want it to flow like in the movies. All right, next up, we've got the newcomer Toprak playing that Slayer. And then we have Spooky on, like we talked about earlier, in a little bit of an interesting conundrum here. Has been rolling a new character from a random wheel for quite a few weeks now in a row. And this time landing on May. A character we've never seen Spooky play with before. However, I think May is the kind of character that I definitely endorse. If you're picking up a new character, it's much easier to pick up standard characters rather than maybe weird ones, difficult ones, set play characters. Like Ino, for example, would be kind of a difficult pickup for your like week 1 character, for instance. But May's rather standard. If you've played fighting games before, if you've mastered certain fundamentals in these games, you can kind of pick up and play her as long as you got your combo routes down. But how is it gonna go versus Toprak, who I believe is... I forgot, I did check up a little bit of Toprak lore, but I think this might be one of Toprak's... This might be Toprak's main character, right? So you are contending on a character you pick up on a short notice against somebody who has played their character for quite a while. Now, in terms of location here, we got Turkey versus Israel. It's been one of the classic problems for players from Middle East to, of course, consistently match versus players from, for example, west side of Europe. There are always, you know, not just the distance, but routing demons between certain countries. And we've been looking for a good match in terms of connection quality for Spooky for a really, really long time. But supposedly in the preliminary testings, this was deemed to be rather okay-ish. Let me check. Was there... Oh, is there some sort of a delay? I don't think I got pinged. Oh, is Spooky needs stalling? Or? Let me check, who did we have in the lobby already? We got Toprak in the lobby already. Ah, I see. Okay, so the request from Spooky was to delay by 1 step, so let me check if these two gamers are ready to play first then. Let's call Wires and Chidz. And if that is the case, then this would be a lore matchup for sure. Our second, I see. So Wires is not good to go yet. What about that? I'm trying to think of what kind of time constraints did these players have. What about Wizard and? Yeah, we got 2 wizards in the Discord. Which one is it? It's this one, right? Let's try to check if Wizard and Sabino could play first then. So what we're doing here is we're trying to sequence it so that we play one of the earlier matches so that we can buy time for one of the earlier pairs that couldn't play on their slot. And if not, I guess we'll just stall for time until one of our pairs is ready to go. It's one of those situations that you might sometimes run into in events like this. So Sabino says that they are ready to rock it, but how about Wizard? But we're not missing any matches. We're simply switching the order of the matches here. Okay, Wizard says that she's ready to go as well.
So we are gonna lock into this one. Happy Chaos Sin. I got a little bit of wizard lore earlier, and apparently she has a like very interesting conundrum where she can't really play too many games in a row, or it'll start wearing on her. I think dizzying her out or something of the sort, which is gonna be a small problem for a long-term event such as FT7, because these could draw out for as many games as math 13, right? if it's 6-7, if it goes down to the wire, if you get the max amount of games, or rather max amount of matches, it's actually gonna take quite a while. And I think Wizard said that usually the FT5 format is her limit, right? So gonna have to sort of fight it and squeeze out all of that gamer juice. Or, I mean, one option is to just gap it, just go for fast 7-0, and you can wrap it up in 7 games. What's the max amount of games for FT5? So FT5 would be 9 games, right? 5-4. So technically you could finish FT7 faster than FT5 if FT5 was to go down to the wire. Although like in FT5 you get quite a lot of games as well if it's super even. Alright, we have players ready to go, and they have the blessing. Time to go for another Sin match. Hope you like Sin. We got this one, and then we got one more in, I think, 2 matchups if we proceed as per schedule. Right. First time on Bounty Hunters for both players. In fact, we're gonna have so many players who are making their debuts tonight past this point. Let's see how it's gonna go. So Sin, of course, sporting the massive damage and poke range. Happy Chaos does have the tools to kind of fight it. You can sort of start your game as, or can start your rounds as like pseudo keep away, pseudo zoning. I guess Happy Chaos really is not that kind of character anymore. Much more of a get a shot in, get your mix up in. If you find the hit, recharge resources and repeat the loop. Much more of in sort of in line with other similar characters in the game. I'm using F. Ooh, tried to throw a little too early there, and the delayed gazelle step waiting for the burst. Wizard, not quite ready to unleash it just yet. There we go, reacting to the L count and getting the throw. We got the counterplay. I think Diago was the. Like, it's so rare to see people who actually have that particular counterplay where they're waiting for the elk and then unleash the fastest possible interruption you can on reaction. Was super close to going bust there in terms of the concentration. And again, look at that! There was literally one concentration left. Wizard managing her resources perfectly and then filling up the gun with Deus Ex Machina. It's sort of the ultimate hit when you have 50 tension ready to go and you're ready to break the wall. You relieve the bullet pressure. You're kind of trying to use all of your bullets as you go to the wall, and then as you're breaking the wall, one of your supers is either gonna give you back all of your bullets or all of your concentration. And because super concentration is the kind of tool that does not really do damage, you much rather try to spend a lot of bullets if you can sort of pick between the concentration and the bullets in terms of, you know, which resource you want to spend. And the concentration, of course, comes back rather fast over time. Just like, ooh, is the 5 heavy? No, the 5 heavy is actually not gonna connect. Usually in those combos, you would have to combo into 2 heavy instead, which juggles the opponent high up into the air to get the connection there on the super. Now with 1 bullet in the tank, we get to the wall, of course, picking up the right routing, and then Deus Ex Machina, all those cheese or those tasty bullets, 6 coming back, massive maximum value.
I think when I saw Wizard play earlier, was really good at managing their resources, which is super important for a character like this. When you're not like when you're managing not one but actually two resources at the same time, as well as burst and tension. Like there are just so many resources to manage in Guilty Gear Strive. Do the ball, max that. Oh my goodness! Wait, was there risk? Sin? Please, my boy, chill a little bit, would you, with that tyrant barrel? Curses. Oh, that makes the reticle latch just a little bit faster, or rather track just a little bit faster. Every little bit helps when it's kind of like your everything. Does the reticle latch or not? Because if the reticle is latched, then wait. Oh, that's still combo, right? All right. I thought that looked like a very interesting situation for a little bit. Gambles with the DP here. However, on the follow-up situation, ready to spend resources, as you should. Wizard putting herself in 2-0, quick one. All right, let's see how fast we can fix this. So this is a problem that occurs when the servers are chugging. Because you all know that conundrum where you're kind of like, please wait on the server. Also dubbed as, I guess, as Strive Earth by many players. If that occurs, the spectator side of the client can't handle that. But it's gonna boot spectators out in those situations. Which just suck and makes us lose one game worth of footage once in a while. But hey, in an event like this, if we were to return back to lobby between every game, I could not host this. The extra time it would take to run this is, I did the math and it would be like, was it like, it would be an hour more on average or something like that, and that's just too much. That's just way too much. Oh, actually, Wizard did notice that, so we do have a sandbag here, and I think that means we are also not gonna count this. Good eye there on the players. Love that. Love that for me and the spectators. Okay, let's flip this back to rematch. I'm gonna resume from the 2-0 situation. Wizard putting on really explosive start. I was actually very surprised how precise Wizard's execution is, and that's the kind of thing that you probably want to nail down first. I mean, usually it might not be the first thing that you nail down if you're just starting out fighting games, but it's super important factor for not only like set play characters, not only snowball characters, not only vortex characters, but also characters that sort of manage their resources. Because if you can't get the knockdown, then you can't recharge your resources either. Sorry, should have muted there. Rare QK sneeze. And a super, yes indeed. This is the start of a comeback, half of your life, with a meager cost of 2 stamina and 50 meter. Right, opting to meter burn. I actually like that combo. I do that combo myself sometimes. The jump D, the FRC jump D combo in the corner. Ooh, the reticle actually tracks here to the other side. Pop the medication in the middle of the combo, no less. Ooh, Sabino trying to burn everything. YRC not punished. Oh, and drifting straight into the loving embrace of the hungry boy. And the delay there from the too heavy is perfect enough to create a frame trap. So naturally, if you go too heavy into Beak Driver, that is a true string. But the cool thing about Sin and his special cancels is that they can be cancelled, or like almost everything can be cancelled all the way till your recovery is over. So he has like massive cancel windows. which means you can also create, tailor, self-make your gaps as large as you want to. Ooh, nice hip shot there. YRC trying to get opportunity to play more than stagger pressure. 2K finds a hit. Not the biggest hit, 2K, 2D, just a hard knockdown. But then the follow-up combo, yielding quite a bit. There we go, ready to react to the Gazelle step. That is one of the gifts that players who are patient enough to not rush out of those situations that they get. They get to react to Gazelle step, and they get to have a guaranteed punish there if they're, ready to react to stuff like, Gazelle out of Peak 1 or Gazelle out of Elk 1. There we go. Spend 50 meter. Should be able to break here. Yes, indeed. We are in a tough resource position here, but Wild Assault is ready to go. I like that. Use the YRC, break the resource generation loop as fast as possible. And now it begins. We have the 1 stamina. Wait for the Gazelle step. However, Wizard is nowhere to be found. The fuzzy jump out of the corner. Good interruption on that blue Wild Assault. We get out of there. Yes, indeed. However, not for free. For Wizard was ready to take a micro dash 2K on the landing frames, and that 2K I think is impossible for Sin to jump in on, because his jumpings just don't hit deep enough. Spending resources on this pressure. Would be nice to, I was about to say, would be nice to get that 50 tension, but we don't actually need it. For Sabino was paying attention to the round state. Opponent is low enough, so we can burn his stamina instead. Just wrap it up here. Ooh, over the head of Sinkisk to the other side, switch positions, and now wall slam pressure allows you to. Okay, we're starting with the DP here. On defensive side, it's tricky to defend against. Every one of these gunshots, every one of these normals could be a strike throw. And in some cases, high or low as well. All right, making sure that the wall break happens with the use of Wild Assault. Once again, sometimes it's like way better to prefer burning the resource that recharges slower, which is the stamina, in order to keep yourself at least 1 or 2 stamina in the bar. Sorry, did I say stamina? I meant to say burst, which is the slower recovering resource. Nice shot there. Was that a hip shot again? All right, Radical latches, and we are in for the 2K. Actually misses, but no whiff punish out of concentration. We're gonna have to, I like that. Fake the escape, but then pounce forward when the opponent is ready to try to chase you. That is the RPS, the kind of RPS that you have to play on a character like this when you go bust. Actually successful block there, however, wasn't able to get the whiff punish, or rather the hit confirm. And in the follow-up situation, Sabino ready to play the 2K 2D into resource burn, only able to get the hard knockdown by using 1 stamina, and no stamina here, so no follow-up. 2 bullets ready to go. We definitely get wall stick here, and relieve the bullet situation. Deus Ex Machina, give me those bullets. In fact, give me that round. If I was a Happy Chaos player, I would be way too focused on my auxiliary resources, and I might miss a lot of kills in terms of, if you just looked at the opponent's health bar and are like, yeah, I can just do a normal BMB here, and I don't even need to worry about my resources, anymore. Those are the kind of decisions that a seasoned resource management character is gonna make. Sometimes they deem, okay, this is a kill. I don't need to think about anything anymore. I'll just burn everything, and that's it. Speaking about burning, here comes Sinkisk with the full screen corner. Carry spent 2 stamina and 50 tension. Lovely. Now we need 1 more of those. Ooh, the close /5D does have a gap there in between, especially with, I think, the use of dash momentum. I think that's actually the only thing that can interrupt that if you go close /5D. Ooh, deemed that was actually not tight enough, so get the air throw. And time to put Wizard in a defensive position. Of course, the defensive option for Wizard has been the jump out / the fuzzy jump a lot of the times, understandably, because this character does not necessarily have the best abare buttons, does not have invo reversals, so jumping out of pressure is probably one of the best things that you can do, especially with the gun mechanic, because you get a jump out, you might be able to take the gun out, shoot them, and tag them before the opponent can even plan doing an anti-air. Right, looking for one more hit from the close slash. Meter burn for YRC, both players burning everything, but Sabino still has a little bit there. Going for the throw. There's the YRC. Now catches the backdash. Oh no, but the hit confirmed. The wrong hit confirmed. You have two options here. The decision is difficult for if the opponent backdashes and you get a close slash, you would have to combo into 2 heavy instead. But if the opponent blocks, then that 2 heavy is really garbage on block, and you would want to go for 5 heavy instead. So it's like, it's a really kind of like a flash hit confirm situation. If you see the hit, the close slash land on the backdash, you gotta make an immediate decision to go for the 2 heavy instead, which ended up being Sabino's death there on the previous round. Shoot them out of the sky, the reticle, having some difficulties initially latching, but then in the follow-up situation, finds its mark, and that should be a kill. Deus Ex Machina is quite explosive super after all. Not quite as good as Sin supers, but you know, for the type of character that Happy Chaos is, definitely up there with other damaging supers. Alright, maintaining the spacing so that Elkhunt won't be able to get there. 2P, nice choice of buttons there. Fastest that you can pull off. To the other side, yep. Like I said, jump into the air, take out the gun, and especially if the opponent is cursed, that reticle has better chance of latching in the near future. So the most optimal scenario if the reticle latches when you are kind of flying over the opponent or even before. But now pressure from Sabino. YRC once again. The reversal option, burn it back to the corner from that 2P. Finds the frame trap, but no stamina burn. However, in the follow-up situation, the patience is the key here. There was an option to potentially burn from that overhead, but every time you burn stamina, it's a commitment. It kinda says, all right, I'm gonna get the wall break here, and I'm gonna, you know, just go all out and not concentrate on the follow-up situation necessarily at all. All right, one bullet in the chamber. Get another one. The resource situation is not the best for Wizard, so goes for a daring option there, instant air dash. However, look at that! The throw interruption between the wild assault. The slowdown on the frames of, I think that was a close slash that Sabino had queued up there, but due to the PRC slowdown frames, was able to pick up the right option, which I think was the throw there, right? Your fastest option. Ooh, this time Elkhunt outsmarting the reticle, and again, the hip shot does not land, but that's only, what is it, 1 out of 3 chance to always land on the opponent when you take out the gun. So odds are technically against you if you wanna go for like immediate shots. That's kind of the crux of how to play Happy Chaos. You don't necessarily get you usually don't get the reticle latches for free. Only some amount of time. Oh, again, look at that, the counter play is so good. And that's why Wizard is on the winning, or rather on the driver's seat at the moment, I would say. Such good defensive counterplay against a lot of these Sin sequences. But then, Sabino, absolute big brain maniac, goes for a counterplay. If you're gonna try to throw my Red Wild Assault, I'm just gonna delay it for a couple of frames, and then they'll counter hit. Ooh, but the YRC produces guard crush into a throw. Yeah, both players playing so well. But Wizard in a very nice position here, starting with, ooh, hello, crossing up during that jump K. I've actually never seen that happen before. And the meter burn will certainly come through. The close slash is missed. However, Wizard went for the throw, the counter throw a little too early there. No stamina left. Last frame still, there we go. What's the conversion? was banking on the stamina being there, the stamina recovering before the cancel window is over. Unfortunately, is the stamina gonna be the death of Sabino here? Sure, not the nail on the coffin yet. Wizard has the life disadvantage and needs to wait for, oh my god, micro dash, or actually that was a long dash into a 6 heavy. I mean, that keeps you in motion at least. So if you're trying to outsmart the reticle, if you're trying to make the reticle not latch onto you, then I guess using normals that move you forward would be really good to play there. I think I'm learning new things about this matchup from Sabino. Right, eat and DP starts in 9 frames. All right, fast enough to get the wall break there. Right, ending the combo, getting the concentration back. Sabino on the chase, however, landing the jumps. That's a little too high in the air. That's only like +2 or +1. But this is plus a lot. Ooh, I see. So I think this was just to fill the magazine, right? Whenever you see like a random Deus Ex Machina, oh my god, look at that, perfect. He's so good with it. That's the counterplay. Standing up when there's an option for the pseudo high-low, when there's an option for hoof stomp or elk 50-50, or rather we call it pseudo 50-50, stand up so that you don't have to react to the overhead. React to the elk hunt instead. Wizard has perfected the art of defending against the layer 1 of this character. Gets a punish there as well. We have a player who is looking at Sin Kisk's stamina. This is unprecedented. This is high-level counter-character gameplay here. Right, out of concentration, so Wizard will have to try to delay as long as possible here. Got the curse. Doing that sequence. Ooh, okay. Initiating the pressure here, while the Salt saving as much stamina as possible. Unfortunately, was really close to getting that 50 tension. Would have absolutely loved to get that against a character such as Happy Chaos, who plays the neutral so dominantly. But alas, it's the curse. If you break a wall against a character like this, then you will have to go back to playing neutral as well. The Elk Hunt completely making the shot whip. The latter part of the 5 heavy lands. Leif had a lot of shots like that earlier as well, but the good 2P take out the gun. YRC, ooh, nice tech there. Lots of flash concentrate, or what do we call it? Snap call out defensive decisions by both players. But Wizard getting the best of it, get the curse as well. Opponent is in the block stand, get the cross up. The what do they call it? The Souls cross up. One tech as well. How are these players are so good at taking these throw mix-ups? I would be scared shitless to press that throw button. 5P doesn't quite manage to hit confirm 4. We were out of bullets, and now the reload loop. One more is all you need. One shot, one desire. If every one of your shots is landing, then no problem. Wizard kinda doing the what we needed to do. So if Wizard, being more of an FT5 player, is able to speedrun it faster than the slowest possible FT5, does it 7-1 in her debut match here on Bounty Hunters. That's a lot of counters in counterplay. I think the most amount of like high-level counterplay that I've seen from any player for a while. That's kind of impressive, to be honest. But good attempt on Sabino as well. Is like, it's really hard when you're when you play against somebody who plays against your character this well. And like Happy Chaos on layer 1 as well is a character that you kind of have to work sort of hard to reach. Is like, it's not just do big driver, spend 2 stamina and get in there. No, it's a little bit harder than that against Chaos. All right, let's see. So this match would be the next one if we have Spooky ready to go. Let me inquire about the situation.
We got the word, so Spooky is ready. So back to the regular broadcast sequencing. Looping back to the matchup number 3. Slayer versus May. And now the big question, will Spooky's new acquisition, or I mean, I don't exactly know how much Spooky has played this character before. I think Spooky has like a lot of, like if you look at their sort of, look at the characters that they have some matches on you know, external services, there are a lot of characters that Spooky has at least test driven in the past, but you know, the mileage may vary, and I'm pretty certain that May is at least not one of the certified Spooky characters. So this would probably be the display of week 1 effort to be put into a character. And that's a tough brick wall to go through on a character like this. Slayer is, or I guess was the public enemy number 1 before season 4. Before characters like you know, the early season 4 Ram or Johnny, or characters like that gained more friction. Sin. I guess before that era, Slayer was kinda the GOAT, and still is sort of a GOAT, right? Because like not a whole lot of things has changed for Slayer himself, although the game around him has changed quite a bit more. Or I guess you could say the characters, like the other characters, the opposition has changed quite a bit. And as time has passed, people have had a little bit of extra time to learn to play against this character. Slayer is, I think, definitely the kind of character who always stays fairly, always stays relevant in a way, because he is able to cause the biggest of oopsies. He's able to, on a moment's notice, just dismantle an opponent who makes a mistake, guesses wrong one too many times, or if a player has no experience against Slayer, Slayer is one of those characters who just absolutely tears you to shreds. I mean, even players who understand how Slayer works, even for myself who has played Slayer for like a month or so, it's not easy. You're forced into making, you know, constant RPS decisions, and if you guess wrong, guess what? You're taking half your life.
Mankind knew that. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Let's see how it's gonna go here. Starting with that move, Master's Hammer. A master tool of, you know, just generating plus frames. One of those, you know, tools that go into the category, if you just sit down and block against this, you're absolutely fucked. It is royally plus, put your opponent in a guard press situation. There's just so many things. Ooh, the Mappa Hunch going a little bit faster than the S-Dolphin. And oh my goodness. Yeah, the tail of the tape here is surely gonna be, or rather the tail of Spooky's how to counter this vampire is gonna be, how do we get to a position where we get to enforce our own game plan? One way is, of course, you know, Slayer will always try to RPS on you. Speaking of the RPS, we still have 50. Making sure that there is no counterplay, or rather no options played from the Slayer side of things. Gets the, what's that, hand of doom? Is the backdash cancel option. Ooh, that's a big one, and that's gonna be a kill. Don't even need the hard loops, because this character has so much front-loaded damage. Some of his combos could be as simple as, you know, 1-2 specials into pile bunker, into an insta-stick, into a super, and that already does probably like 1/3 of your hit points. Yeah, the most important thing against Slayer, I think, is spacing between, like the delicate spacing between 2 heavy, which is the low crusher of the century, but also K-Mappa. Ooh, that was a nice attempt! Jumped out of the Master's Hammer, but for some reason, Spooky just couldn't get the jumping button on the way down. I wonder what happened there. It looked like the button was out after all. Bar Slash working as a makeshift anti-air. Even Slayer kind of has to be careful here, because this girl May does maul, does inflict a lot of damage for simple hits and especially counter hits as well. And Slayer kind of has all of his all of his skill points in offense and aggression, but not necessarily the best character in defense. It's like your backdash is a little weird. I guess you have the health, but that's like all of your defensive game plan. It's just have a lot of health, like have more health and have more damage, more rewards than your opponent. That's kind of the Slayer defensive game plan. Ooh, Mr. 2 Heavy OTG, I think was meant to be. Oh, there's the pile bunker as well. So Spooky will have another chance. Hand of Doom into cross up into pile bunker. This is the kind of stuff it's gonna be. I wonder how good Mace 5 Heavy is against Slayer. I think I've heard tales about this matchup from a couple of prominent Finnish May players, or I guess the one. And I think, ooh, speaking of the 5 Heavies, just clashing there. My goodness. Both players throwing, and Toprak immediately going for the goal burst. Ooh, we got a goal burst at home here as well. And now who's gonna get to spend the meter first? Ooh, tried to throw from a very precarious position, dropping the combo. I love that. Immediately, as soon as the drop came through, deeming that Toprak is actually gonna try to press their advantage. Just go for the super, break the wall immediately. But speaking of breaking the wall, 6 Heavy a little slow from that slump. How about now? This time, it's possible. But now Spooky with 100 tension, immediately into a super. And that super has quite some range. Ooh, that's a big starter. And we got a lot of, like, even though the combo dropped there at the end, I think the most important part is, like, first 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. After that, if you drop your ender on a character, like standard character like May, it's not the end of the world, because, like, you're still a standard character. You don't necessarily have to have the setup to be on par with the other characters. This time, though, bait comes through from Toprak. Comboing into Blood-Sucking Universe for added extra style points. Forcing the big unique counter hit there at the end of, or rather as a combo string of sorts. Deflect Shield does push the Master's Hammer away, however, no whiff punish on the follow-up situation. Usually the follow-up to Deflect Shield forces you to press buttons because, of course, the opponent wants to get back in there as fast as possible. Now, 100 meter burn should be enough, right? So this will never break the wall, but it does not need to. And the last one, look at this, bam! The snapshot frame. So the last hit of that super deals like absolute minuscule amount of damage, but it's so freaking cool when you actually get that perfect threshold where the shoulder snap at the end there actually kills. That was really cool. You don't see that very often.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, the S Dolphin catches the backdash this time. I wonder I think the biggest enemy of S Dolphin, like if you're trying to do stuff like try to not really neutral skip, but trying to poke the opponent from like mid-screen with your charge dolphins. The problem is that like Mappa Hunch starts a little faster and has a better hitbox. I'm pretty sure I've heard the talks that like Mappa Hunch usually beats dolphins like in terms of hitboxes, right? There was some sort of dash here. I'm not sure if it was forward or backwards. But nevertheless, the active frames of that super will probably catch both versions. To the other side. Yeah. It is kind of the right call to jump out of that. You want to do everything and anything in order to, you know, get out of having to block Master's Hammer, because that's like one of the nastiest situations you can be in. Ooh, got the throw, and now there was a little bit of a staggering in terms of frames here. Both players throwing each other back and forth. Who gets the meaty first? Oh, but that's perfect. That's a counter play, because you can throw Master's Hammer on landing. That's the high-level counter play. That's the sort of counter play that allows you to be really passive. If you're just blocking and you're waiting for the Master's Hammer, you can just see, oh, it's coming, so I'll throw your landing frames. But then, on the other hand, if you miss the timing, I think Spooky was trying to do it again here, but the timing is rather precarious. It's like I'm pulling the number out of my ass, but probably like 4 or 5 frame timing, maybe even tighter when you're trying to throw the landing animation of Master's Hammer. It's not too difficult, but it's not the easiest thing in the world either, right? And that's kind of Slayer in a nutshell. Like, everything has counterplay, but it's kind of like it's kind of hard to pull off. Like, you know what you need to do, but it's not easy when you're so massively mental stacked. Ooh, the Mappa Hunch and the Dolphin actually collide there. I guess I might have been wrong. I guess you know, ooh, the too heavy counter hit. Misses the hit confirm. So one more chance for Spooky. Perhaps after this, into corner. It's not quite gonna wall break here. Bringing the Master's Hammer plus frames. Jump up, however, landing into the bar slash. And that's gonna be an easy ABC super combo. Bar slash starts a little bit faster than the S Dolphin here. Oh my god, that's so rough. So May would like to do the 5 heavy fishing for counter hits, right? But that's like the perfect distance for Slayer to just counter poke it with 2 heavy. Does May even press 5 heavy in this matchup? That feels such a queer statement. Like, can you literally not press your best button? I guess in a spacing like this, nice, chooses a close slash there. Sees the opponent going in, however, misses the meaty timing, or maybe was waiting for some sort of a meter burn. Although Slayer no longer can even reversal super. I guess the best that Slayer could do is like backdash, cancel into Hand of Doom, cancel into RC or something? Can Hand of Doom even be RC'd anymore? I forgot. Ooh, close slash anti-air, that's gonna be big. Slight miss there on the combo route. Ooh, again, this situation has been super good for Spooky. When you get to the corner pressure and you go for your up dolphin, Toprak so far has not had a solution against that up dolphin, which, like, even if it lands on block, it's gonna be plus frames. So you would you would love to make your opponent block it. I think it's kind of like May's version of Master's Hammer, but not quite as good, but kind of like same idea behind it. Your opponent needs to have a reactive counter play against it, unless they don't want to take your plus frames. God damn, this character does so much damage. Toprak looking like there is no breaks at all. Even when Spooky manages to get a couple of good RPS wins, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the heart of Slayer. You trade, press again, because the risk reward is always on your side. We even got the super Mappa Hunch here. Break the wall. And now, what kind of Oki are we playing? We're just actually playing patiently. But now that will mean that Spooky actually, oh my god, the close slash anti-air, one of the hardest, or I guess hardest, but also the highest hitting close slashes in the game. That's, I think, in my opinion, one of the most annoying things to play against Slayer, because some of these tools kind of prompt you to go airborne, like command grab, Master's Hammer, stuff like that. But then he... Oh shit, what did I press? I'm so sorry. This... I'm not sure what the hell happened here. I'm probably gonna have to fix this after the match. Oh yeah, this is the annoying thing with the client. All right, well, with the letterbox going on, let's see if Toprak is gonna actually get the clean 7-0 sweep here. Spooky, of course, would love nothing more to at least put 1 point on the board to be able to say, nah, ain't gonna get it for free. Gotta have to work for it at least a little. Here's the reversal super. Ooh, the patience here, waiting for the deflect shield. Not quite getting the true punish, but I mean, it's already a loss in itself that the opponent spent their precious resources for an RPS option. Now it's not going to be available. Oh, wait, this is a little slow, but it actually works out because the opponent is coming up from the above, but small combo drop. But the PRC saves the situation, and Toprak indeed takes it 7-0. Yeah, it is definitely tough when you're rolling onto a weak 1 character and then you have only so much time to get up there. It is definitely a challenge. Now let's try to fix this clusterfuck of a situation here. I hate this client. I hate everything about. All right, so what do I have to do? Can I fix it like this? That kind of fixes it. Nope. I think I will have to Alt F4 this, because if you press wrong keys during your game, the client will just shit itself permanently, and you can't fix it anymore. So we'll just have to do this and reboot the room again. Okay, short intermission here as we are gonna handshake with the server. Was our match done? It was 7-0, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was 7-0. The players would know, right? I hope the players would know that it was 7.
Network.
Right, let's try this again. Give me a moment.
Welcome.
I really need a new PC soon, but it is tough. These toys are not very cheap nowadays, are they? Alright, let's fix the lobby code here. Right, and then we can hopefully rev up the Wires versus Chidz matchup.
One more sin for the road. Okay, we got both gamers ready to go. Third Sin matchup, it's gonna be against Dizzy this time. Dizzy has been one of those characters, like classic cases of everybody's super excited to play her on release, but then in couple of weeks, couple of months, you start seeing the new DLC character shortcomings, so to say. And then a lot of players actually... Hello? There we go. A lot of players actually drop her or drop the DLC character in question until we get a couple of balance patches where they sort of give a little bit more quality of life to the new character so that you manage to get into like same amount of competitive potential as some of the other characters in the game. This has worked the same way with like many characters in the past. For example, Sin Kisk was exactly that kind of success story. Like released at an atrocious state where the character was like nigh unplayable, but now we've reached this point where this character is actually kind of goated, kind of sick, kind of top 5 material. One cool thing is that the sliding floor glitch has been fixed now, so you can no longer get like infinite amount of momentum if Dizzy goes Ice Spike into summoning the ice floor. Which for Sin's case would be like if you use Elk Hunt at a very specific timing, you could get infinite momentum and just Elk Hunt straight into Dizzy, and she couldn't do anything about it other than, I guess, not cancel. Activating the wings here. Now let's see if Chidz is able to get value out of it. We'll probably actually kill before it happens, yeah. But had sort of an insurance in the back pocket. Technically, so there's been a lot of talks about Wings of Light and how effective it is, but technically, when you activate Wings of Light, it only costs you in opportunity. It costs you the little amount of time that it takes to put on, because it doesn't cost any resources, right? And she has a lot of setups where you can kind of just take out the wings for free and then basically say to the opponent, you have to be aggressive. If you can't get out of my pressure, if you can't win the neutral, then the wings are gonna resolve and I'm gonna get big value for free. So I would say the Wings of Light overall are kind of like a tool that is low opportunity, or like very non-committal, is like might as well. Because I don't think we have like any 6 setups that you would have to forsake for specifically for like taking out Wings of Light. Well, I'm not sure. It's like this character has always been, Dizzy has always been like a really massive knowledge check in terms of like all the kind of things that she can do. Because there's just so much you could do on Oki, so many different setups, so many different things that... Oh, let's see the counter play. Block it into no punish. So the old Exerd RTL was definitely sort of, you had to be scared of the follow-up hits because you could actually frame trap into them. But in Strive, you can actually get a close slash or a throw punish if you want. Nice spacing, look at that. Waiting for the instant air dash to just go off, land safely in front of you, and get a punish there on the landing frames. Now 5 heavy will apply freezing. Get your buddies out. However, ooh, the 2P was not followed up into a hard knockdown. A big thing that, a lot of, or I guess some players do struggle with. Cross slash counter hit though. Spending meter. Make sure that the combo works out, but as a result, we can't break with a hard knockdown until the next interaction. Immediate burst there. A little late on the punish with, on the, the deflect shield.
But again, those consequences of simply using the deflect shield will carry on to the next round. Now Chidz will actually start with less than 100 burst gauge ready to go. Ooh, going under the... What's the sword called? Michael sword? That one. Small Mike. Small Mike and Big Mike. As we had in the plus R days. Ooh, the immediate burst after, and Wires was ready to bait it. I was ready to bait the Wiresy as well. Take everything, won't you? Even the kids. I guess in this case, it's like Sin is the kid. Even the... I don't know. I don't know a good analogy here. Either way, Wires evens it up 1-1 early into the set. So the jump is actually one of the best space controlling tools. Look at that. It comes out so fast, and it basically prevents Sin from being able to take any sort of air approach. And if you use it as like a TK, it also prevents you from like poking with your standing pokes as well. It's actually super hard to even go under it. So one of the only solution is to space yourself and then time a move like Beak Driver. But the timing, the window of punish for that is very difficult. Nice RPS win here, and this time gets a punish. Do we have the... Yes, we have the stamina burn. The 2 stamina, the magic number, from which you can even convert into very decent amount of damage on a raw overhead. Right, ending it safely in the Michael sword. S version, usually the safe. Ooh, big one. Into. Yep, definitely burning here. Would have had to go for, I guess, 2k there because the combo was a little prorated instead of 5k. We have a lot of meter to spend here. Make sure that we don't land straight into a punish. I mean, technically, depending on the opponent's timing, there was no hope. Out of stamina now. Again, the jump D. Even when Wires was crouching there, the jump D explodes there at the end. I guess does it explode? It kind of just guards. So if you can, if you ram yourself into the hitbox, it's gonna explode and trigger and force you into a tech situation. Right, taking out not only the fish but the Wings of Light, and this wastes a lot of time. This is actually a very great setup. However, Wires with that long-reaching jump heavy, able to get a hit. And able to bail themselves out big time. Look at that. That's big damage. But now the problem... Nice. Takes the Wiresy. 2p into nothing. Takes the burst as well. And we're so close to that meter. But not quite yet. But this is still so difficult for Chidz. For there is no hit points left. And on the next hit, we will have basically Sin Kiss with 100 stamina. You can bet your ass that Sin is gonna red Wild Assault so much. One of the best, absolutely hands down best characters in the game with Wild Assault. So of course, in this kind of situation where you're checkmate, you're gonna press that Wild Assault so much and compensate for the lack of stamina. Also, howdy Raiders from Strelitzia stream. Welcome to, I guess technically, what is this? Game number 5, because we did this out of order. Some domestic violence here between Sin and the Mummy. Ooh, the sliding. The physics of the ice ground sort of go in Dizzy's favor always because... Oh, hold that thought! We got a big counter hit here. Oh, I like that! Using the explosion on the floor kind of as an extender. It's like if you don't play against Dizzy very often, it can be hard to remember that like at the end of your combo, the ice ground is gonna explode for you as well, not just for Dizzy. But yeah, in terms of the physics of the... Oh, we're committing here, aren't we? But there's so many things in the way. And even though technically in Guilty Gear Strive the fishes don't particularly take hits for you, or like, wait, if you have multiples out, do they in that case? Because it looked like a really weird situation where I guess it's the spacing wasn't correct for the RTL there because you couldn't reach Dizzy. Usually, like if the fishes are on the way, it doesn't matter at all. As long as the super reaches you, it's gonna hit Dizzy as well. Right, take out Fish. That was definitely a premature miss input there, YRC. But since that was sweep from Dizzy, actually gonna be a favorable knockdown. But then the air-to-air situation, both players jumping, and let me tell you this much: Sin and the Mother, two of the worst characters in the game to jump in on anybody. If you go to Dust Loop, look at the hitboxes for both of these characters' moves. Yeah, they have great horizontal range, but vertical range? Absolutely none, especially on Dizzy. Like, both of these characters will actually have to FDC their BMB like instant air dashes if they want to hit anything at all. So it's kind of peculiar you would see both characters going airborne. I guess Sin would go airborne quite a bit because like a lot of Dizzy's summons and a lot of stuff that Dizzy takes out can be countered by doing an instant air dash, such as like wrong timing on the ice spike, instant air dash can get past that. Take out, you know, Michael's sword, basic projectile, instant air dash over. Oh my goodness, look at that, wires. I think third or fourth time already. Taking not only the burst, but YRC's in like somewhere between there as well. With activation using the, I think, fully charged 6 heavy, which creates quite a lot of plus frames, allowing you to do all sorts of things. The wings are gonna resolve here in a second. There we go. Oh, but as soon as that happens, the trade causes them to dissipate as well. Dissipate. Right, YRC prevents the chestnut loop from happening. Not so strong anymore, I think, or rather, there's just way more counterplay to the old chestnut loop. Although, because like a lot of players just don't play Dizzy nowadays anymore. I actually forgot how the chestnut was changed particularly. Was it that it can now be pushed away with FD, right? Because it's not considered. The first part is not considered a projectile anymore, right? That was the change, right? Right. Trying to waste as much time as possible in order to get that one precious stamina in there, preferably 2, so we have all of our explosive power ready to go. Perfect 2D footsies, preventing the low options. Oh, this is not gonna carry anywhere, is it? Yep. Just ends there, mid-screen. And the physics here just, like I was about to say earlier, favoring Dizzy big time, because Dizzy doesn't get the initial, what do you call that in English? It's like when you're doing the Looney Tunes thing and just sort of running in place, because there's no friction. But Dizzy doesn't suffer from that, only the opponent. Dizzy only gets the sort of quotation benefits of the sliding forward. So you get a little bit of extra momentum forward when you stop your forward moving momentum, which does apply to the opponent as well. But because the initial momentum is, oh, okay, using the wall or the ice explosion again to go for a close slash OTG was it, I think. I get the wall break, massive life advantage here, and 3 stamina. So any hit, that's the hit. Oh, but misses the close slash pick up there in the middle. We're still okay. Plus frames, finding the hit, and that counter hit far slash will actually link into L count. On a normal hit, that wouldn't be the case. But since we got the counter kind, that was a massive commitment from Wires, let me tell you that much, because on block that would have been punished if the opponent is, you know, ready to RPS, so to speak. Backdash out of the far slash. Ooh, interesting. The instant air dash jump heavy into an immediate RC to make sure that if that whiffs or if that's blocked, it's gonna be your turn. That wasn't a true punish, but still got the hit in. And Wires immediately returns back with a round, saying basically, all right, you got a round, but you know, let me show you how fast I can take round with this character that has massive explosive damage.
Duel 1.
Especially when you get your, like, you initially usually start with your 2 stamina burn into half of your opponent's life into a wall break. After that, you're kind of low on stamina, might have 0 or 1. But during that time, like, the only way to actually snowball instantly into a victory is to get some sort of a good hit and then probably delay the, like, do a delayed juggle and then try to get another 50 meter to break the wall. Here we go, backdashing out of it, making sure that there's no sort of funny counterplay, or rather, I guess expecting there to be counterplay of some sort. I mean, DP is pretty okay against the chestnut, right? Right, spending the last stamina as well, basically making sure that the wall break will happen. And now with the positive bonus, we can burn other resources instead of the stamina. That still reached Sin Kisk, please, with your 6p. You're absolute beast. There we go. Oh, got the stamina there at the very end, but I think Wires wasn't expecting it, or perhaps even opted to not spend it in order to have it in the follow-up situation. Nevertheless, now the pressure on Chidz with the left rights. Are we gonna go for it again? Front this time, being very safe. I think that was a safe jump setup, just in case. The Wild Boy tries to go for a DP, and that again misses the close slash before the 2 heavy, I think. The timing of that is not the hardest, but not the easiest either in the heat of the moment. And now Chidz actually has a chance to steal this back. One more summon. Chip damage is a thing as well. Can't go forward. Can't go forward, Captain. It's all ice. It's all Looney Tunes. In a situation like this, you would have to go airborne to gain any sort of momentum moving forward. I guess that's why, like, that's one of the reasons why people tend to jump against Dizzy that much as well. Ooh, we're just checking the reactions. 30 frames, half of your life, into a hard knockdown, positive bonus, yep, immediate DP. But still, even that DP not getting the pressure back is Chidz, utilizing the burst, and now we're in this, oh, nice hit confirm into the Gamma Ray. I always forget which one is Imperial Ray and Gamma Ray. I think this is Gamma Ray, right? And the Reversal Super is Imperial. That is definitely something that you can do if you have stored 100 meter, then any sort of full screen hit from the ice spike, or if the opponent is frozen, you can just go straight into the Gamma Ray and end the round from like 30, 40 hit points, or 30 or 40% of hit points on your opponent. Overhead, immediate RC. Right, ending in soft knockdown, not opting to take the wall break in order to save the stamina. We're going under the chest, not into a perfect decision, into perfect spacing. And the wall break, make sure that you get it. Oh no, even with the RC, help! We still have 1 stamina, it's not over yet. Wires could be in a good position, or maybe Wires is in a horrible position, because we get the wall again, or rather the ice floor, not wall, floor. God, Chidz actually stole that. The combo execution error. That boggles my mind. The RC was supposed to be the equalizer. The RC was supposed to make it guaranteed. No matter what you do, as long as you land something afterwards, you get the kill. But well, everybody knows how it is. Like when the nerves are racked, when the hands are shaking, when you are in a tough position and the adrenaline is flowing, even the easiest of execution things can turn into a difficult barrier. But no, basically what Wires has to do here is to forget about all of it and just move forward. That is one of the required talents of a top player. You have to be able to let it go. You have to let bygones be bygones, even if the bygones have happened like 20 seconds ago. You can't linger on it, for your opponent is just gonna increase their momentum and ram at you at multiple, like, high speeds. There we go, this time getting the loop. I like that. So the three stamina burn is kind of cool. Downside, you will go to 0 stamina, but at least you will get the positive bonus and usually the hard knockdown as well, because Sin builds quite a lot of resources during his combos. Ooh, was able to build into it. Wires has had so many situations where they're kind of like, all right, is the stamina gonna come back during my combo? During those kind of combos, like if you want to burn, you might as well mash the button, and if you manage to build into the stamina early enough, then the follow-up will come out and you can combo further. Deflect shield, kind of, ooh, that's gonna be a big recovery there on the missed beak driver. And not even needing the wings. Chidz, Wires started with so much momentum, but now Chidz on the Dizzy has perhaps unlocked something. It's especially, I think, the long-range gameplay. Every time Chidz actually gets the ice floor off, good things happen. It kind of loops into itself as well. If you get the hit afterwards, it's gonna explode, it's gonna cause a hard knockdown, and you can summon the floor again. And then the opponent will be Looney Tunesing again, because they can't move forward. Oh, the stagger pressure is so good with that ice floor, sliding with that 2K. It's basically like 2K, am I gonna throw, or am I gonna go for another stagger pressure string? We got the chestnut pressure. Probably resetting into it again. Nope, just opting to take a little bit of a safer approach here, Chidz. Oh my god. The elk didn't actually go under the fish there. Alright, stamina burn coming, but the same problem. The close slash pickup after the special number 2. Nice, but Wire still has the reading glasses on. The Wire C will be blocked, and Chidz not even needing the blue burst here this round. Good check here. Elk is of course very slow starter. The thing is, like, there is a distinct lack of things that Dizzy can actually do at round start, because her pokes that reach you are so slow. Ooh, nice reversal super on the elk hunt. That definitely works. And then it's maybe trying to summon the ice floor, but got something else. Now here comes Wires. We got the 3 stamina. So you can bet your ass this is... Oh, no! Misses the wall break. I guess it's not that big of a deal, because it would go back to neutral anyway. I guess the only differentiating factor is that you didn't get your positive bonus. And Chidz, is Chidz just gonna do it here? From that reversal of momentum, has been basically on a roll. I guess one of the core problems as well for Wires is that the 2 stamina burns that are so integral to your game plan as Sin, been dropping the combos out of those. The linking close slash not coming up. I think Leif had the same problem in some of his combos as well earlier. Which is of course a heartbreaker. Wings? I think they're resolved. Oh, but she just didn't actually not have any tension. Because how it works is that you basically transfer tension straight into unblockable damage on the opponent. But if you don't have any tension left, then I guess the wings are not gonna do anything. I guess in that sense, like, the wings have no opportunity cost to activate, but also, if you don't have the tension at the end, they also don't do anything. So it's a very, very interesting move in that sort of way. Go for the... the DP comes out, so the wing threat has been destabilized for now, or prevented. That was a pretty good instant air dash forward. However, the Sin and Dizzy curse, the jump-in button just has no verticality whatsoever. So really hard to hit on your opponent that is crouching down. Here comes the stamina burn. No, again! The close slash! Why does it not hit? Daisuke issue up there, why does it not hit? What gives? Using raw gazelle step in order to try to gain a little bit of momentum, and then the FRC momentum burn that does plummet Sin forward. But look at this again, the jump slash does not hit deep enough. It hurts my soul. But I mean, it is a shared problem between both of these characters. The thing is, oh, big counter hit, here we go. There we go, hits it this time. That's like a 70% damage combo. I guess it kind of hits really hard on Dizzy, especially if there's a little bit of risk here. Now spending the spending the tension here instead. Yo, the deflect shield! Wait, why does it work like that? The wild assault was supposed to negate the effect of the deflect shield. Was it because I think it's because the orange wild assault came out so late that most of the momentum push had already happened from the deflect shield. This is set point position, by the way. One hit on wires. However, no! It was such a good situation. It is really common for you to cancel into Beak Driver and the opponent to try to wire C too early. And because Beak Driver can be hit from like half screen away, it's hard-coded so that the wire C doesn't work, but you gotta have follow-through. Again, wires, had so many good reads. But I think the Bane this time is the execution. So Chidz will have an opportunity to just run it back from a negative position and end it on 7-4. Love to see Dizzy play for the first time in a while though. This has been, what, like a couple of months since we've seen a single Dizzy player, other than I guess Miru. Like Miru has had actually exceptional Dizzy play on Bounty Hunters so far a couple of times. If you ever want to figure out like how to use Wings of Light, then I guess Miru would have your back with, you know, with setups that actually do something. I think Miru is one of the only players, or AKA Aizawa, on Bounty Hunters that I've seen getting relevant value out of the Wings of Light. Yeah, it's kind of like a set play tool, because like you have to know your routes into whatever happens next, and you kind of want to have, like, if your opponent doesn't resource burn, if they don't wire C, if they don't burst, if they don't DP, if they don't deflect shield, then you should probably, like, when you activate wings, you probably want to have a route to where you get a guaranteed kill with those. So it requires a lot of pre-planning, a lot of set play, a lot of sitting in the training mode to try to figure out, okay, how do I get there? If the opponent does not play, how do I get there on layer 1? And that's a lot of extra labbing that you could use for labbing fundamentals instead, right? All right, next up, we got the last of the AK bunch, Munch, Jacko. For the first time on Bounty Hunters, but also for the first time on Bounty Hunters, BlackRaven, Biken. Representing the Finn gang here, the only of this week. Biased, aren't we? Can't believe QK is Finnish person. What is a QK? And what does it do? Right, let me prompt the players. So Munch and speaking of the rare DC sightings, I guess Jacko, if we disregard Decoy Snail, who is very often featured, or rather, I guess through necessity, by the virtue of signing up a lot on Bounty Hunters, will also be featured quite a lot on Bounty Hunters. I guess our go-to Jacko player. But it's really great to get a little bit of change of scenery in a way in terms of other Jacko players as well. And this would be the first time we see of Munch. Very interesting character, Jacko, because there's, of course, it's a big player expression kind of character. You can kind of choose how aggressive you want to be, how defensive you want to be, how set play heavy you want to be. Are you gonna sink that meter into that blue buff and try to just keep the opponent in place and not let them go ever? Are you gonna go for big mix-ups, or are you gonna
yeah, what are you gonna do? There's just so many things you can do different than your peers on Jacko, depending on the player habits. And in that regard, I think Baiken, I don't want to say all Baiken players play the same either, because there is definitely a lot of player expression in that sense, but I think Baiken, as soon as you get the hit, your decision paths kind of converge among many Baiken players, because this is a set play character that has very streamlined, strong set play. It is the high-low. And at that point, it's like, are you gonna high or are you gonna low? You're basically in the same mix-up still. So I think in that sense, the player expression for Baiken players is gonna come from how are you gonna get there? Especially, it's gonna be tested against a character such as Jacko that can keep you out really well. And character that keep you out is kind of the bane of Baiken. They do say that if you can consistently get into the mauling distance, if you can consistently get into a position where you get to mix the opponent up, that's great. Baiken is amazing from those positions, but you don't have a lot of like long-range neutral tools. Even though you have your Kabari, it's kind of it is a big commitment, and it doesn't necessarily like. It definitely does not do the same thing as Jacko's minions, for instance. And overall, your neutral skill set is sort of like mid-close range rather than mid-long range, which is kind of the case for Jacko. Or I guess Jacko is kind of balanced in that way. If you want like mid-long range or long range, you can rely on your minions. Ooh, that's gonna be a guaranteed. Drift forward, sees that BlackRaven is revving up for the Kabari there, which is gonna be super, super slow. So can actually go for a punish of their choice. Ooh, found the hit, but pushing too far away to connect that soccer kick. Now we are in that mauling position. 6k plus frames, attach the Kabari. There we go with the mix-ups. This is the winning position, and these combos as well for Baiken players deal so much. The target is pretty soft as well in terms of Jacko. To the other side, yep, the Yozen drive-by. Even more plus than before. You can't press there. I think Jacko will have really hard time doing anything even after blocking the cross-up Yozen. The cross-up Yozen actually ended up whiffing there. I think did it a little too early because Munch was crouching under. I just noticed Munch has the aura. Damn, that is scary. OTG, 6 heavy in to attach the Kabari again. And of course you wouldn't like to stay there. Probably was trying to react to that, seeing the Kabari, the S Kabari coming, trying to maybe jump out or press a button. But unfortunately, not too much you can do there anymore. Yeah, there we go, the Kabari, such a big commit, basically like a standard fireball in a sense. So, what do you do against standard fireballs in fighting games? Jump over them. I mean, I guess you don't see, like, in a matchup like this, you don't necessarily see the zoner jumping too much at you. Although, this is Guilty Gear. This is probably the most aggressive fighting game out there. So, of course, you would... Ooh, try to red parry there in the between, but the timing doesn't quite align with Munch's pressure. Ooh, was able to sandwich! But no follow-up from that minion attack command. Seems that burst has to be used here. You have the minion. Sandwich again. And as long as you have this minion gauge on top of your tension bar, that means that your pressure can go on forever. One of those thresholds means one potential attack command. Here's the burst at the very end. Ooh, good 6p. Kinda looked like BlackRaven was passing through already. Speaking of passing through, Munch is so ready for that RPS. That's why you don't necessarily see that much of the heavy Kabari follow-up that passes Baiken through the opponent, because if they're ready to react, that's a punish. I think that's a throw punish or 2k punish. I forgot if you can even get a close slash there before Baiken can even recover out of that.
Big miss input there. What was that? What was deflect shield? There we go, Kabari attached. Now we're pogging. We can combo out of this. 2K connects into big Damahe. I guess the downside is, depending on what point you attach the heavy Kabari, it might not have enough time to go for like the best hard knockdown of your choice. Wow, the jump slash actually cleaving both the minions here. But we'll still need, even after taking out those minions, we need to take out the main body itself. And Jacko has some good-ass normals. We got the 2K, everybody knows Jacko 2K, and we got the 5 heavy as well. The forward-moving, multi-hitting monster that can be cancelled into a lot of things. Ooh, but nice timing of the far slash here on the on the landing frames. And in case Munch tried to go over, that would have probably triggered a close slash as well into a big counter hit. Keeping up the plus frames. Oh, hello, where are we going with these physics? Timing of the gold burst is really good. Now we're in a positive bonus loop in the corner, 100 meter. I could see blue burst activated here, unless we just got the hit very early. Drifts into a throw. BlackRaven opting to play it safe, the throw there, beating the reversal parry. YRC, yep, we might as well spend, because we have more, like, we have 50 meter more for Munch here. There's like, I think literally no reason to not spend here unless you think the opponent is actually baiting your YRC. But hey, at that point it's just RPS. Yozan, no 50 meter and no counter hit, so we can't really pick up with anything relevant. Taking the cross up, no, comes in from the same side. And the minion that Munch threw is gonna be way too far. Drops combo, but maybe that was just a reset. A little bit of that Hosegiri. And now we're cutting through. That's literally 1 hit point, huh? Yep, gotta go for the YRC because there was a relevant threat of chip damage here. YRC back. Oh my goodness. No cancel there on the Yozan. Actually surprised. It's a very common sequence to go for like a very early jump heavy, hit them very high, and then cancel into Yozan Sen. Went for the throw, but a little too early there. Trying to work in tandem the best they can with the minions. But it's tough when you're sweating and you literally have 1 more hit point left. Getting your timings on point can be tough. But now, new adventures with new health bar. No problem in the world for Munch. We're just partying with these little fellas. Ooh, BlackRaven opting to wake up with a 5K into big counter hit. Yep, gotta burst that unless you want to go prematurely through the wall. It's a very safe play here. Even though Munch does have the massive life advantage here, it can be thwarted very fast to the other side. Trade! Are you kidding me? Felt like it was safe enough to attempt there, especially with BlackRaven's health going so low. Same side mix-up once again, always gets everybody. It looks like you go so deep with that air dash, or sorry, that forward jump, that it makes you think that it's gonna naturally be a cross-up like when Jacko does that setup. Okay, finally low into a BMB combo. Let's see. Yeah, this is where the player expression comes in. You could take the wall break, but Munch is like, why would I do that? I don't want to let this pressure position go. Good block on the overhead. And with no meter to spend here, is gonna, I think, gonna be a punish on a standard setup as well. And now what kind of setup? Tried to go for an F shiki, but had some sort of a problem there in between. YRC, last dance for BlackRaven, spent everything. We are on the last stage after all, or rather the last life. And it's gonna pay off. Might as well burn everything, burn it down. Get to the next round. A kiss on the Yozan Sen. Late air dash back jump slash again. Munch is ready for that heavy company follow-up. It can be a big culture shock if you're used to like a lot of players not being awake and not, you know, responding to your run through with that heavy company follow-up. But then you meet somebody who's like, all right, I see it, I punish it on reaction, and you're like, well, shit, I guess I'm not gonna use that ever. YRC and has one more bar of meter to spend if needed. What I like that was holding the minion and did the attack command as like a really preemptive anti-air. Plus frames from the gun. TK Yozan actually missing, and the meter burn completely down the drain for BlackRaven. But that's how it is in competitive games. Sometimes, especially in fighting games, you miss the input, you put yourself in a punishable position, and the opponent gives you no mercy whatsoever. This is how it goes in the big boys league. You better have your execution on point, or it's gonna be all taken away from you. Right, air dashing straight into the minion. So there are a couple of different options for taking care of the minions. Depending on what kind of normals your character has, you could try to intercept the minion throws. Depending on like what normals and what special moves and what, you know, moves Jacko uses to launch them forward. They have different kinds of momentums, and you could try to match those momentums and angles with your normals if you have good ones. I'm not sure if Viken actually has. I think that's actually like one of the sort of pain points, one of the wound points of this matchup, that Viken just doesn't have like great normals that can intercept those minions. But oh no! I think that was meant as a cross-up mix-up, but Munch just holding the block there, or rather the down back, making the Yosensen completely whiff. It feels like Munch has actually a pretty decent amount of knowledge of this matchup as well. Tries the 2S anti-air, however the opponent already landing. A big combo. This is gonna equalize the situation. I like that. Flipping the positions around as well. Now big question, when does BlackRaven burst? We'll have to burst towards the mid-screen, which means you have to contend with these minions. The minion, the 2S actually being the artillery cannon launcher, launching the minion behind BlackRaven so they couldn't take care of it. Because of course there is no normals that can cleave behind you, at least for most characters, I think. That'll put Munch in the leading position, not by much though, and for the first time I think. Yeah, I think if you wanted to take care of Jacko minions behind you, you would have to go for like a neutral jump or a back jump, and then come down with a normal that can cleave them on the way down. But of course that will take a while and might prompt a response to from Jacko to either attack command you or maybe even parry command. There are a lot of different options that you could do. Ooh, nice! Preventing the sandwich from going online. Counter hit 2D. This is a big one. We're working with the physics after all. What happened there? The drive by Yosen actually being matched by Munch here. And now, working with the corner. The blue buff active. Bursting towards the tail end of it. I guess in order to not make Munch have any sort of... Look at the... Wait! 2S? Beats the cross-up Yosen like that? I like it. This time, missing though, because BlackRaven ended up not using anything. I guess, is that the counterplay option? If you think the opponent is gonna... Or like, if you think the Jacko player is gonna try to anti-air you with 2S out of your drive-by Yosen, you just don't play it, and you make him... Or you make Jacko whip, and then come down and punish? Is that it? Ooh, got the stray heavy kabare hit for the first time in this set. Yeah, like we said, even though many matchups it will kind of define the distance for Viken, in this matchup it's just so hard to use because your opponent is just so much better at neutral. Big bounce combo. But now the resources are kind of favoring Munch here until the meter burn. Both players do have burst. BlackRaven kind of has to go for it, and then the big counter hit, immediate burst. Oh, the timing is so good. The gun landing into plus frames, and the throw will seal the deal. Both players burning everything, and now having to go to the last round without any burst resource whatsoever. But I think this will probably favor BlackRaven more, right? Look at that, because there was no burst out of that combo. One more of those. There we go. That's a kill, right? We have 50 meter. Ooh, unless we drop, no matter. Happy little accident. We get a reset. That's what I'm saying. If the burst is not an issue for Baiken, big damage, one hit, end it all. Jacko would much rather have the blue burst on deck because you're a neutral machine. If the opponent gets in on you once, reverse the situation. Go back to drawing board, go back to neutral, and then they have to work so hard again. Interesting. So just dashing out of that blue activation here and throwing makes sense because you can't really poke those minions while that buff is active. Trying to intercept again, a really nice parry command on the coming down situation. BlackRaven had a perfect jumping angle and Munch recognized it. Jump over the heavy kabari again. Yep. Fighting games. Did you throw a fireball at me? I've played Street Fighter before. I jump forward. I'm being able to low profile the parry command somewhat, but on the way down, Munch landing a lot of good hits. No anti-air on the way down. I think, I wonder the timing was probably off there. But how about it this time? Tries to go for an air-to-air jumpy. The jumpy is a little too tiny. Very fast, but too tiny. BlackRaven is in a completely different castle. And now on a different screen as well. TK Yozan, yeah. Those couple of those normals before the Yozan comes online, making sure that the positive bonus is gonna build towards that 50 meter. And then, when we're there, immediately into the TK Yozan. Oh, a very brave match there with the S buttons. Gets a close slash out of the corner. But now Munch, assuming a defensive position here. Yeah, that's the tough part. Another minion might be coming at you when you're trying to swipe at another. Looking positions. Ooh, okay. Oh, nice read there from BlackRaven. Spending the meter when it matters. And the combo is completed successfully. But now look at this 100 meter Munch. Jacko, I think this is over. BlackRaven can't win, right? Because of the resources. Or maybe? Gun to the other side. Close slash to make sure. Oh, DK Yozan whiffs. Once again produces a jump slash instead, which makes the ordeal completely pointless. The execution on that. It used to be like one of the stepping stones for Baiken players to be able to do a TK DP. It used to be a DP input, so it used to be even harder than it is in modern day Guilty Gear. Nowadays you can just do 2, 3, 6, 9 as a TK input, but you used to have to do like, I guess there's a couple of different ways you could input it, but like 6, 2, 3, 6, 9 would be one. So you would have to delay, the timing would be way more unforgiving. Anyway, so much for the history lesson. Munch setting up the throw and into... Yeah, it's really hard to justify burst for BlackRaven here, right? Because you're so low. So you might as well take the L. Oh, never mind. Surviving with 1 hit point. I guess that's why BlackRaven knew that we just don't have to go for the burst here. Ooh, tried to poke with a 2P, the fastest button. However, the spacing trap to the other side. Was this supposed to be a Yozan? Yozan does come out eventually. However, it has some amount of startup. So Munch able to get into the air-to-air position. And now fighting for a really important point here. Opportunity for Munch to, for the first time, go in a 2-game lead here, or BlackRaven just even it out once again with the sandwich combo, cashing out early. Is it gonna break? Very close. Not quite, but maybe this is even better. Gets a red parry, no dash cancel, but we're still in a blast frame. Oh, wait, huh? Was Munch blast there? Interesting. Tries to clear the screen with the Yozan. Go again. When in doubt, go for Yozan. One more. Very close to the 50 meter. There we go, punish. And no burst. Again, Munch, this time in the same situation. The same boat that BlackRaven was previously. No reason to burst. Or if you would, that would be what we call in the industry a hero burst. And we don't like heroes here. Or do we? Or do we? Oh, goes under that far slash. And now, big question, when the burst gonna come out? Not on this screen, that's for sure. Munch go, ooh, that's a big one. However, the angle was a little awkward. 6 heavy counter hit doesn't lead to much in this game, I think, for Jacko. Sees the wire, see, that's gonna be an easy punish. To the other side, Yozan doesn't have the 50 meter to cancel into it, has the burst immediately, but Munch knows it! Munch knows it has to happen. Are you a Garfield or are you a burster? Many people don't want to be the Garfield. And Munch actually banking on BlackRaven not being a Garfield. It's kind of like a set situation there at the end. You kind of have to burst, otherwise you're just gonna die. Alright, setting up the sandwich again. BlackRaven committing into... Was that a too heavy there? With a lot of recovery. So perfectly in between Jacko and the minion. Ooh, too far to connect with that 5D tap. Munch making the executive decision here to spend the burst aggressively. I think this is very rare kind of burst that Munch has used here. Because it's been used defensively to bail you out of exactly this kind of positions. When BlackRaven actually gets their their pressure going, that's when you go for the blue burst. But now, the second overhead on the way, and then on the way up, Yozan as well. Yozan on the way down, Yozan on the way up. Yeah, that's kind of where the bike and decision making converges. It's like, are you gonna mix them up, or are you not gonna mix them up? But I mean, don't get me wrong, I like characters that don't have too much junk. It's like, give me a mix-up that is effective but easy to perform. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of execution requirement, because you do have to do that TK, Yozan, right? It has to be a TK input. And now, this will go through the wall, and BlackRaven... Ooh, never mind! Was it because tether? The tether will pull the opponent back enough so that you can't break the wall. Huh. Alright, BlackRaven still on the chase. It ain't over. Definitely not yet. Alright, drop it on the same side once again. Are we gonna burst? Nope, no opportunity to burst before the wall stick goes online. And once that wall stick triggers, that's gonna be no on the burst anymore. Counter hit, comboing into the minion command. And what are we setting up? Waiting for the move. Well, that was kind of, I think because the two heavy goes low profile so much that it cannot trigger the parry command, right? Is that right? I'm pretty sure. Because Sin has the same thing where Elk just cannot ever trigger the parry command because it's so low profiling. I guess it might depend on the stage of the hitbox, right? Right, into a throw. Set up an OTG. Minion command, might as well burn YRC here, because on the next hit it's gonna be over. Another really important game here. Far slash whips on the 2K. What did we talk about? The 2K, the Jacko 2K. Oh beloved buttons. Now Munch has so many resources going into this situation, and now any hit, any block sequence, gonna get lots of value out of that positive bonus. However, BlackRaven puts an end to it with that blue burst. And now makes up opportunity. Yep. Just barely building. Oh no! Missing the combo at the most crucial moment. And it is over, at least for this game. Munch moving forward with a 2-game lead once again. Very close to sieging the castle gates. One more to go to take it home. BlackRaven, of course. The games have been extremely tight, so it's all about BlackRaven just getting in there and getting the execution to get the, pull through with the mix-ups, first of all. But then also, I guess it has been mostly about that, right? Because I think BlackRaven is getting decent amount of opportunities. That was a very big commit on the dash. BlackRaven is getting opportunities to play quite a bit. Oh, the missile launcher, or rather the artillery. I love that when Jacko actually plunges the minion forward, upwards, out of the screen with that 2S. He's really good at putting minions behind your opponent on a sort of delayed timer. First attach the S cavalry round start. No dice though, very limited range. Ooh, still have minion commands ready to go. Trying to outplay the burst not coming out. BlackRaven slowly running out of time, goes for the F Shiki. I think there was a red parry attempt there in between, but alas. Jump BPP, staircase down, cancel into frame trap, sucker kick. Is this, whoa, far slash? Yo, BlackRaven? Still alive? YRC plus 10, backdash out of it. The RPS is working out kind of well. The bar slash gets a small punish, and then the attack command is the nail in the coffin that ends up frame trapping BlackRaven. Wow, I was getting kind of worried there for Munch. From the far slash Abare, counter hit far slash, successful combo into a potential robbery attempt there. Good try for sure. So Munch also making the AK gang happy. How was the score? So for Wizard 1, Munch 1, and Wires 1 as well, right? No, it was Chidz who won on Easy, right? So I mean, two out of 3 is pretty good for the team. Alright, so we would have one more ready to go. I can't even remember what it is. Oh, it's this one. It's this one. If you look at the cards, I think this is like whatchamacallit, duality of man kind of a situation here. Profound words on the left, and then not so profound words on the right. Just go for it. So this will be a North American East Coast show-up. And what a matchup it is gonna be. Testament Mirror. A slightly slower matchup in terms of pace for what we are used to tonight. There's been a lot of like super explosive characters. A lot of characters just want to try to jump into the opponent's guard, try to neutral skip as much as possible. Don't want to play that much neutral, just get in there and hit them in the face. But this matchup is going to be, this mirror is going to be very, very different. Both of these characters, or rather this character Testament, this character Testament kind of needs a little bit of time to get started at neutral. Usually regarding at least 2 fireballs, you usually start with Grave Reaper, follow up with your Crow. You have the curse on now, or the stain if you will. And then you're attempting to hit the opponent and get a big free mini RC on them. It's kind of like when you hit the opponent with your normals and they have stain, it kind of like pops them up in the air as if you just spent RC, right? So that's kind of like the dream of how things will unfold. However, Testament has this little thing called Arbiter Sign, which hits full screen, homes full screen, and able to counter poke the opponent's fireball. So if you're on the ground throwing a Grave Reaper, which you probably are going to be most of the time, I guess maybe in this matchup you play a little more air fireballs. It's been such a long time since I played this matchup myself. But there's a lot of sort of chess match opportunities for players to, like, if one Testament thinks that the other Testament is gonna try to open up and go for a Grave Reaper and then try to go for a throw, you can just put an end to it by using like an Arbiter Sign of your choice. Usually the S1, which is the low one, which starts faster. It's kind of the thing you use to check the other Testament with. It's gonna be kind of sort of a game of cat and mouse. Who tries to start it first? But on the other hand, if you land an Arbiter sign on block, even on full screen, then you're minus. And then the opponent could try Arbiter sign as well. There's a lot of very slow, methodical decisions here at neutral. But if you actually manage to get into your basic pressure loop, actually, let me add colors to these fellas. So celphy is white and black on Angel. Frick, that's too long. Let's abbreviate it. Dark. Is that short enough? Short enough for you, game? There we go. Ooh, the reversal here. Very slow. Takes the TP as well. Yeah, this is a whole nother layer in the matchup as well. We could like try to teleport as well in positions where like the opponent, for example, has a succubus marker already and wants to send the crow, but then they don't send the crow, but teleport instead, or just use their own Arbiter sign. There's the Arbiter sign. Teleport forward. But of course, the Arbiter signs have very limited amount of tracking in, especially the overhead will easily be like overrun if you're just dashing forward or air dashing forward. Oh, again! Angel definitely likes that tool. So, faking with the overhead Arbiter, expecting the opponent to react to the animation, which is definitely reactable, is kind of like, if you're in that position where Arbiter sign can be used, you're just doing the most common thing in fighting games. Waiting for the low, crouching for the low option, which is the faster one. And if you see the overhead one, which is the much slower one, you stand up to block. But then if the opponent goes for FRC low Arbiter instead, you might just end up standing into the low Arbiter instead. It's not the most lucrative, but definitely one kind of funky trick that you can use to end the round with. Speaking of ending sequences, here comes Nostrovia. Sending celphy to the next screen with Curse as well. Interesting, so try to go for like a frame kill 5B into low Arbiter there, which seems to be jumpable. I guess the 5B does frame kill way too many frames, huh? To the other side, yep, gonna be very plus. However, here's the interruption with 2K. Overhead Arbiter sign though. It's confirmed with the use of... Oh, would love to have the meter here on most wall break situations, because you get so much value. Not only the damage from Nostrovia, but also the stain. You don't have to work for the stain in the next screen. And that's huge Force Testament. Teleport into... Oh, wait a second. Is that... Can the throw interrupt that? I thought the close slash is actually meaty there. Both players taking the air, missing each other. Here's a curse, plus frames, because Arbiter sign usually minus on block, but then if you use it in tandem with the curse, it is gonna be plus. Also meter here for celphy. Arbiter side, overhead, yep, was probably thinking about maybe using the same trick as Angel used to end up or finish up the last round, or last game rather. Taking a teleport, 6P, yep. Anti-airs are definitely on point in this mirror. Can be fairly late, can be fairly early, because the hitbox of that is massive. Ooh, close slash counter it. Big combos. Now, big question here, how are we gonna finish this up? I think you can take a wall break here, but you don't necessarily have to. You can go into Oki instead. Both players trying to throw. However, usually the player who throws first, which is the aggressor, is gonna recover out of that first and get an opportunity to strike at the opponent. Especially if you kind of like, if you do the most psychological thing and try to break a throw when you see the opponent with a throw. It happens to the best of us. It happens, like literally nobody is immune to it unless you are just some sort of a freak. And or a professional player. I mean, professional players even get hit by that too, right? Ooh, close slash. There we go, the counterplay Arbiter sign. Don't you try to throw fireballs, because we got the fast fireball on point here. 6B, juggle them into the corner. This could be potential. No, does not go for the crow. Crow's put it now. And now Arbiter sign. Soft knockdown. Wait, this is not with Stain. This can be jumped over, right? Or? I'm pretty sure that you have to strike into Stain to be able to get a guaranteed mix-up out of the Nostrovia. Maybe I blinked and I missed it. Yeah, that's the kind of cool RPS here. You can use the neutral crow instead of homing your crow into the succubus marker if you think the opponent tries to jump out. Because the angle usually is towards the ground. Ooh, but hold that thought, big counter hit. Waits for the DPS, sorry, the burst as well. And Angel with a really cool sequence here. I think that the RC is definitely optimal in there. Because if the opponent bursts, like you're coming off a normal that has quite a lot of hit stop in 6 heavy, right? You RC it, check if the opponent would burst. If they didn't, you can just pick up the combo again, and you could maybe even pick up with like 5k or close slash, which also have jump cancel options, so the baiting does not end there. However, Angel, again, I think Angel especially has played the possession RPS really well. I say that and immediately celphy gets an RPS win there on the teleport as well. Will big counter hit, yep. Especially since celphy had 50 meter ready to spend on Nostrovia. That was a good burst, I think. Again, teleport. That just doesn't seem to work. This trades, right? Nostrovia gets Angel. Pop the Stain, and then jump out. Was too far away to be able to utilize that. And the funny thing is how frame advantage works with the Stain. The lighter button you press, the more frame advantage you're gonna have. So S buttons, for example, have way less frame advantage on the pop than K buttons, for instance. Ooh, a little too much damage on the wall, so celphy got a sort of a premature wall break there. Teleport, yeah, again, look at that! I think has Angel won every single possession RPS that celphy has tried to impose so far? It would try to go for a lighter button this time. See, because celphy has been going for like a teleport close slash in attempts to go for a meaty. This time teleported into a 2k, which starts up faster. But then Angel just went for a reversal super. God, I love this. This is the kind of shit that I love. Characters that are thought to be not necessarily like as competitively viable as others. In a show match where you get so much counterplay, where you actually get to see the matchup and how, you know, what kind of RPS options you play against the same characters. Yeah, again, look at this. Reaction throw. Hang around the succubus marker. If they teleport, they're toast. There's nothing they can do anymore. Ooh, it was actually Angel who had the curse on them. Sending the neutral crow, thinking that maybe celphy would like to jump over. 2k 2D, we got the curse. No, instead of going to the curse, we're gonna check with normals here. Sending the curse now. Yep, pop. And we even had the Nostrovia option there at the tail end of that combo. Man, Angel is on a roll. Ooh, he's the jump K! One of the faster normals instead of jump heavy. There we go, get the curse, get the uplift, and then Nostrovia. Let's see. Previously went for the frame kill 5B into a low arbiter. What are we gonna get this time? Yeah, again, overhead, but we established that earlier already. There was too much of a gap here. I wonder if that's just a timing issue. Ooh, tried to go for the overhead into a low Arbiter again. To the other side! Oh my god! And that's gonna be the kill. Those are some of the coolest mix-ups in Testament's toolkit, I want to say. How it works is you send the crow, and during the crow, you teleport off FRC. If the marker is behind your opponent, you will manifest there before... Or do you even need the FRC there? I think you RC, right? So then the crow would appear or arrive on your opponent as a cross-up. And then you can pick up with whatever normal you want to link into and cause the immediate stain pop. Of course, it's sort of like if the marker is behind you, there's kind of like no... I mean, I guess you could teleport in place as well. You just use possession in place. So then they would have to flip their guard, and they're gonna eat the crow from the front because they're blocking to the wrong direction. Yeah, I just love that. Nice, the commitment to dash over. We were talking about earlier how, you know, going for air fireballs might be a thing if you want to fight against Arbiter Signs, but I think the players have already here moved to the next layer of the match. We're not seeing too many Arbiter Signs anymore. Oh, debating this. However, the back jump slash, lots of verticality. Sorry, horizontality on that move. Ooh, again, the Arbiter Sign. It was like a, if you stand up, you're gonna get the crow. But if you crouch, you're gonna have to block the Arbiter Sign. Again, going under. However, the timing was a little off on Angel's 2K there. Wasn't able to tack on the landing frames, which is usually how you want to play that sort of situations. 6B is there on time. Even though Angel is so late, the 6B still comes online. That's kind of how much of a commitment it is to jump at your opponent in this mirror match. Although, if you do manage to complete the jump in, you got some really good stuff because Testament has excellent excellent Gatling strings into a lot of like multi-hitting overheads, and then a lot of those lead into air fireball, which you can use to curse then, and possession to bait out the Arbiter Sign, or rather evade the Arbiter Sign. I think that was one of the first really good possessions that celphy has been able to get off in this game, or in this matchup. Delaying the air momentum there, using possession in air, because there was a lot of junk still on the ground that time. Teleport into fully charged plus frame Arbiter. Oh, I see! That's a lot of information. Did you see that? celphy teleported in place, and Angel still went for the throw. So that should make bells and whistles ring in celphy's head that, wait, is the opponent not like... I mean, they're reacting to the teleport, but can they react to the manifestation? Is that even possible? Wait, is that a true mix-up? I don't actually know. I think you should be able to react to the animation of the opponent manifesting in front of you, especially if you're throwing, right? Right? I'm not crazy, right? Alternatively, if you use a normal, whiffing a normal is a little safer on the succubus marker than whiffing a throw. Although, I guess if you're possessioning, if you're teleporting in place, then that should put you in a lot of recovery so that the opponent shouldn't be able to punish you either, right? Because you're spending like almost as much time in place recovering from the possession as the opponent is spending recovering from their throw that they just whiffed on the marker. Ooh, interesting. Kind of looked like they were gonna go for like an air fireball there, but it whiffed, landed, and then just went for a throw. Angel has some really massive momentum here going into this one. Again, look at that. Immediately sees possession, throws. I guess that would only be a problem if the opponent Testament is next to you, because then you could recover from the possession and, ooh, a little early on the throw, ends up missing the deflect shield. Tried to use again the overhead FRC low Arbiter trick. Yeah, just go for the layer one, send the crow. There's just so much stuff in this matchup. Projectiles left and right, using the jump K, which is the taco kick equivalent. The Testament cross-up won't be able to 6-speed that one. I think celphy was trying to 6-speed that right, but did it go into the wrong direction or did it just come out as a 5B there? I kind of blinked and missed it. But the fact of the matter is here that Angel is on 6 points. We started with 1-1, and since then, Angel has just displayed, I don't know what we should call it, just like superior a lot of things, especially in terms of RPS when it comes to like possession, arbiter sign, when to throw fireballs. It's subtle little things, but they snowball really fast, right? Oh, again, this time not close to the succubus marker, can't throw, but we can definitely strike into it. Put something active in there if the opponent happens to manifest in that location. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, go next round. Instant air dash, doesn't quite get there. Again, micro dash into the location where the possession was gonna come out from. Rare footage of Angel actually missing that punish. I wonder if at that point, if celphy is kind of locked into just wanting to play the possession RPS, because that's definitely something that you don't necessarily need to. It's an extra layer of the matchup that you can use, but don't necessarily have to. Ooh, the burst is baited. Set point position as well. Celphy is cursed, not anymore, but very little held. A big counter hit, close slash into. I think can jump out of this. Yep, making sure that. Yo, are you kidding me? I thought you would just super jump instant air dash, but Angel went for one above, drift RC backwards, slow down time, make sure that you are not in range of the initial hit point. So the hit box of Nostrovia, then teleport because the succubus marker is right there. Angel has. I'm actually blown away how conscious Angel was, not of their own succubus markers, but also the opponent's succubus markers, basically at all times. You see celphy winning like very small fraction of those possession RPSs. That's crazy. At that point, I wonder how you, I guess you just, if your opponent is so good at that, you just have to cut your losses and be like, all right, I guess I'll just play standard instead. Unless the standard layer is literally that you want to play the possession RPS, because it's cool. It is damn cool, I agree. It's like one of the most fun things about Testament, but it is kind of risky. And like, what's the reward for your opponent whiffing onto the marker if you use possession in place? Because like, that's the only thing that you can use to bait it. I guess you would just possession in place multiple times, but the opponent can keep striking at the mark. Yeah, that's... I have a... Or rather, I used to play Testament as main as well in Season 2. And that was a lot of really interesting stuff there that I learned from both of the players. All right, but that would be everything for tonight. We have completed 7 matches, and it's exactly 9 p.m. finish time. 8 p.m. CET though, so let's see if we got some cool raid targets before we go. Taking suggestions as well if you have if you think there's cool people to raid potentially. Untitled Unmatched is going on at the moment. There's that. I guess we'll just... How far is that? Let me check. It's 2 hours deep into the tournament, so we're kind of at a really nice point where you have the conclusive matches. So let me just send you that direction. But yeah, thank you so much for attending, everybody. The players, the viewers. If you want to sign up for the event next week, we of course do this every single Sunday, never missing an event. That's why the running number is at 100 and what is it, 185 at the moment. I think we've missed like grand total of 1 event per year is the track record here. But yeah, if you want to sign up, join my Discord. The sign up forms are gonna be posted over there in a how do they say, in a spiffy? In a spliffy? In just a moment. Anyway, sending you over the EMEA GGST for Untitled Unmatched, and we'll see you again next Sunday with the same stuff. It's been fun. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye-bye. In a spiffy, that's it. That's the one. English as a second language, Lamau.